jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
You already know what it is. WCS back at it with another one. I told you from earlier today, I'll be back on. It's Friday. Big salute to the supporters. Definitely want the room to fill up a little bit more because this is going to be a burn. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a temperature affected live right here. Real talk. You know, some names will be mentioned and questions will be asked, people. You have to do it. If you ain't willing to stand on your own and call certain situations and words and scenarios and falsicities, fabrication, facades, pretending and all this shit, if you don't call it out for what it is, then who is? I don't need for somebody to be in front of me to know what direction I need to go in. If I see something that I feel that, okay, well, that's not exactly right. No, that can't be true. Or that should be something we know already. Then you gotta stand up, roll your shoulders, stick your chest out. You know what I'm saying? You got a posture different to say, let me make this point right here. But shout out to the supporters, man. Shout out to the ones that's on deck. Lil Flex Lewis, what's good? What's good? Salute to you. So it's definitely, I can't kick this off until more people get in the building. Real talk, because we got a lot to unpack with this. You know what I'm saying? Dion Washington on deck, my guy, man. Shout out to Dion, man. You know, if I ain't told you in a minute, man, appreciate you keeping me abreast of what's going on. You know, when I ain't around the PC, brother. You know what I'm saying? And I will admit, you did keep the same energy about it. You know what I'm saying? You have kept the same energy. No matter how they want to look at it. You said call you when the first punch is thrown. And that's what I'm talking about, man. I can't make the phone call. I've seen punches, but I can't make the phone call on that particular fight, dog. I can't call you up, man. Because no punches have been thrown except in the YTC. You know what I'm saying? That's the only punches. I need, you know, I gotta wait. I gotta wait till I get my dime in this motherfucker. Cause we got some shit to talk about. We got some people to talk about. For real. You know how people, I said, no, don't, you know, don't mention any names. No, we're gonna mention some names because I have some questions. We have the big topic. We have, you know, the big topic of freaking, you know, Terrence Crawford fighting David Evanesian. You know what I'm saying? We have so much to unpack when it comes down to what is this all about? Who's talking about it? Who can we trust? Who can we not? Who's being truthful? And who's being dishonest? I think it's very important for us to never let this shit get out of hand and think it's just a fun and game type of deal. No, you don't do that, bro. If you're knowledgeable enough and you feel that you can speak on it, you know what I'm saying, and be thorough in what you're speaking on, then hey, take that risk. Do it. Do it. We need, you know, I'll start really getting into it when we get that dime in the building. When we get the dime in the building, bro, Right now, it's like an intro incubation going on. Come on, continue to grow. Continue to grow with those numbers. You know what I'm saying? I need those numbers up to a dime so we can start cooking. You know what I'm saying? With this hot grease, man. We got to get the hot grease. We got to put some content in the hot grease and show the people what happened when you start to cook. It's mandatory, man. It's mandatory. This live tonight is mandatory. Real talk. This is mandatory. We have to address it. We have to speak on it. I have to ask you all questions. We have to attempt to educate ourselves with one another. You know what I'm saying? One mind is better. Two minds is better than one. So that's why I need y'all help, y'all participation. Because maybe it's some situations that I'm missing when it comes down to this, when it comes down to boxing, when it comes down to human beings being so gullible in certain situations. Why? Why y'all so gullible, man? Why y'all so gullible? Why you just allow yourself to be taken advantage of and you know something isn't right, but you saying, you know what? I like where I heard it from. I like where I heard that from, but it's no truth to it. But I like where I heard it. I like the way it was mentioned. Don't take away my high, man. I like the way that sounded. Don't take away my high. No, bro. I really start cooking. I'm patient. I'll take my time. Bro. Show boxes on deck tonight. No, bro. It's crazy. I can't believe we're not getting this fight this year. Why you can't believe it, little Flex? I told you, bro. Flex, I told you. Why you can't believe it? I know you probably wanted it like I did and a lot of other people, but due to the circumstances and every internal piece of information that we was getting, third, fourth, fifth hand, why you can't believe we ain't getting it? Let's go. So, he said, I think it's Isaiah Steen card. Showtime is kicking. It's crazy. I can't believe we're not getting it. You been calling it big, bro. It's crazy. They played us like promising Americans a stimulus check. Yeah, they did. But if you would have understood, right, at least with a stimulus check, you knew you can either run into somebody in passing or you had a contact. You kind of knew from all the news and headlines that was all across the board, you knew the shit had some validity. You know what I'm saying? You knew you can prove it. But with this shit, you didn't have the contact. You didn't see the information widely disseminated out here that you can just say, okay, that person said this, and this. Okay, it's happening for sure. No, you had people running. And we're gonna get into that, man. I don't wanna jump the gun on this shit. I'm telling you, bro. I have some questions I want to ask, and I have some names that I want to address about some situations that I'm not quite sure that you understand what you did. So sometimes you have to use the common analogy. The common analogy of exposed. You have to help people understand what that means. That's all. I'm waiting, man. I got to get my dime on deck. I'm sitting at 7 right now. Max, what's good? ATL to the world. What's good, man? Let me go over here, make this happen right quick. We're gonna get into it, brother. And hopefully I can have the OG drop in. You know what I'm saying? Me and him talk a lot. He's deeply embedded in the boxing game for decades. He knows a lot. He's involved with a lot. But I wanna get through the first part of this live first before I settle in and bring the OG on deck. There's been a lot going on, man. It's been a lot of, words being passed. It's been people that's trying to make threats and, trying to be angry about people like myself speaking up. It's not like I'm just creating, I don't know, sci-fi type shit, fictional type characters. I'm not creating none of that shit. I'm talking real life reality about this boxing media and events that people try to twist, manipulate, and make it pliable to fit their own interests. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get somebody like myself that come in there swinging the axe, they get mad about it. They get mad at you chopping down what they trying to build, and the foundation is never meant to sustain itself. They just want it to look like it has stability, but it doesn't. We've heard, I don't know how many, we've read and we've heard, I don't know how many freaking tweets, news outlets and everything else talk about the disappointment of us not getting Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, right? So what we also understand is there's plenty of information out there right now for me to talk about what I'm going to talk about. I hear people up here assuming or trying to imply that Blue has something to do with the brokering a deal for this Terrence Crawford. Bullshit. I heard, Drew Titan attempt to, say that, okay, well, I want to big up Blue and act like it. No, that's not the case. I'm telling both of them, Blue, Drew, no, that's not the case. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, bro. Y'all not sitting up here faking the funk, clout chasing, and acting like, he broke the deal. He didn't broke a shit. Period. He didn't broke a motherfucking thing. I'm cutting that light off before y'all even think, hey, the electricity bill is paid. I'm cutting that shit off. He didn't have nothing to do with brokering no $10 million deal. And then we're going to talk about the $10 million too. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get down to some straight facts as human beings, especially with a black audience too. A majority of this is black audience. But we're going to address some things that goes on with other black media, hearing somebody like myself, and then you start to get all reckless and rambunctious and feel like you out of pocket. For general purpose, you just want to jump out of pocket because you feel like it's cool. I'll do this, I'll do that. You ain't going to do a motherfucking thing. But listen to what I got to say. Let's go ahead and talk, man. Let's start this up. It's Friday. People got shit to do. Let's get in it. Let's talk. So let's start this off by putting up this right here of the pound for pound best. Terrence Bud Crawford. And I want to read. This is from ESPN. Shout out to ESPN. Okay. Via Mike Coppinger, right? Terrence Crawford has been on record as saying, I was really looking forward to Errol Spence fight. I started communicating with boxing manager Al Heyman and PBC back in June. And unfortunately, they represent a fighter in Errol Spence who didn't want the fight as bad as I did. This is Terrence Crawford telling you consistent verbiage that he's been sticking with the entire time. It goes on to say, I agree to all of their BS, and they've been dragging their ass for months. Spence was nowhere to be found while I was trying to make the deal. Once again, Spence was nowhere to be found while I was trying to make the deal. Once I'm successful against Avanesian, my plan is to be the same. I guess he said in an earlier tweet or whatever, return and whoop Errol Spence ass. Okay? So that's Terrence Bud Crawford, undefeated. You already know what it is with him. Terrence Crawford's been doing everything like we said he was from the beginning. He's been trying to negotiate with them since June, and they've just been placing obstacles after obstacles after obstacles, right? You look, you even had some mention like this. You even had Mike Carpenter come out. Now, an important part about Mike Carpenter, right? Pay attention, is that when Mike Carpenter says other, let's just say he comments on something else other than this, they don't want to believe him. They don't want to believe him. No, I'm going to call it for what it is, man. Recall memory, right? I need to regurgitate this shit. When Mike Carpenter speaks about something else that's not benefiting their favorite fighter, they don't believe him. Oh, he talking shit. You can't believe Mike Carpenter. You can't believe shit he say. You know what I'm saying? Just recently, when he was in there with Max Kellerman, and he was in there, and he was saying, it seems like, Max Kellerman said, it seems like this would be a duck. These same individuals jumped on YouTube and started critiquing, scrutinizing the words, and then say, oh, nobody gives a fuck about what Mike Carpenter say, and we definitely don't give a fuck what Max Kellerman say. But peep this out. They seem to give a fuck about this right here. They say Terrence Crawford and David Avenesian have signed contracts for a welterweight title fight on December 10th in Omaha. Crawford told ESPN. Streaming service BLK Prime will offer the PPV for $39.95. Now, the reason these individuals are truly zoomed in to what Mike Carpenter mentioned is because it includes the man himself, Bud Crawford. It also states that he'll be fighting in his hometown of Omaha, Nebraska. Okay? Not just any fight, but this fight supposed to be scheduled for a streaming service, BLK Prime, with a pay-per-view ticket of $39.95. Now, will that encourage or entice these boxing fans to want to come and purchase this straight up instead of streaming? Hell no. The streamers are going to stream because they don't support the sport, and they definitely don't support the fighter. All right? Pay attention. Now Mike Carpenter is making all the sense in the world, because with the BLK Prime, the narrative that is floating around here like an oil spill is that Blue Blood Sports has something to do with the possibility of brokering a deal, which is absolutely bullshit. How did he have... No, let me not get in that yet. I'm telling you straight up and down. No one's running with that narrative. Not if I have anything to say about it. No one's running with that. Blue didn't have no. Look, let's get on the track record. Name me some other deals that he's been able to be a part of in the sport of boxing, period. We seen him fail miserably when they was in Arizona with the Tevin Farmer and Mickey Bay situation. For someone who's supposedly have their hand in a massive freaking a massive deal like this to broker a $10 million to set something up supposedly, why wouldn't he have the common knowledge of $100? $100. Why he didn't have the common education to tell the listeners to say, listen, I'm not encouraging this fighter to take the $100 because pretty much it voice out his original contract. And if he goes in there and get hurt, it'll be detrimental to his career. But no, he was like, man, I guess he don't want the bread, man. I guess he don't want the bread. I guess he don't want the bread. It wasn't all about the bread. At that point in time, you was provided an opportunity as a media segue to go in there and report soundly, honestly, and you had some integrity about yourself. No, that's not what you did. You was there for the companionship. You was there for the clout. You was there as if you was doing something special. But what happened was you pretty much provided people with a bird's eye view of how deficient you truly is when it comes to the business of boxing. You was encouraging the fans to believe that Ty Edmonds was refusing $100 from Devin Haney, and you're saying to yourself, like, it's just $100, man. Take the bread. Take it. Obviously, you didn't know. I'm going to assume you did not know. You wasn't educated enough to know that will void out his original contract when promoters have to get insurance on the fighters. And if a fighter go in there and get hurt, then that insurance covers, the injuries or whatever else that happened during that night. You know what I'm saying? They just don't go in there and fight for amount of for amount of money on the purse, and then they don't have no freaking health insurance like that. That's not the way it works. But that's just one of the areas that you failed. Now we having this BLK shit. Now let me take y'all back a little bit, right? So the message was that this meeting, so-called, happened. Okay? Let's say a meeting between him and Harford actually happened. But it wasn't like you think it was. I'm going to assume that Bud Crawford, if he was around that area, he pulled up, but his reasons was for something else. He probably rolled up on Blue to check his temperature because he was up here talking crazy. And look, to validate what I'm speaking on is simply this: how has he been acting ever since that infamous meeting? Absolutely different, right? He's been trying to act like he's Team Crawford. He's been then being nice. He's been saying all these dang pleasantries and everything about Crawford. Man, he's been trying to play, both sides of the fence and be a mediator, a life coach. He's been trying to keep the peace. People in his chat is lighting his ass up. You know what I'm saying? They want him to be pro Errol Spence. You have to understand what you've built. You built individuals to listen to you as a pro Errol Spence host. You can say that you didn't choose one side, but it's clear you did. That was further exposed in plenty of videos that these content creators has been putting out on YTC. You blew it. You blew it. You should have just stayed to where you were. Now, if you have voices like Drew Titan that want to co-sign this shit, I tell Drew, please co-sign stuff that has absolute merit. You, Drew, Blue, BF, y'all cannot prove this one thing. First of all, y'all cannot prove that he has any say-so on brokering anything. There's no evidence of that. Get the people from BLK on the phone. Get one person on your show to substantiate that you was a sole proprietor that helped broker this $10 million deal. Second of all, I want either one of you all, anyone, to explain to me where I can locate the source to this entirety. Where can I locate the source? Where's the source to this entire deal that all of a sudden BLK Prime, right, who dropped the ball on somebody who I know. They dropped the ball. I need the sources where I can ask questions. I need to know the sources. How can you parade Brian Norman Jr. on here? How can you bring that man on here and act like it's a huge deal and you went far and wide and you was looking for a fighter to be the face of BLK Prime, and all of a sudden you pick one out of the ATL? Out of all the boxing meccas, you didn't choose NYC, you didn't choose Vegas, you didn't choose Florida. You know what I'm saying? You didn't pick nobody out of the DMV, Baltimore, freaking North or South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? You didn't choose nobody. You came down here to the dirty, and you chose the Assassin 2.0. Now, when I was sitting back looking at that shit, I said, cool. I'm gonna let it play out because I don't believe the bullshit. I don't believe it. You fooling the people like, oh, hey, I look far and wide for this, and and people going around, oh man, Blue making moves. He signed Brian Norman. Okay, it sounded good, right? But let's change it up a little bit. So if you say you signed Brian Norman Jr., right? What are we supposed to do next? We supposed to wait to what you are telling us materialize, right? That's what's supposed to happen. He had a fight date that's supposed to go down this month. Where's his fight date? I'll wait. Those of you that's listening, where did Brian Norman Jr.'s fight date go? He was signed to BLK Prime, right? Where did his fight date go? If you, once again, is out here telling people you're signing someone to the name and stature of Brian Norman, 22-0, undefeated, right? You signed this man, and he's supposed to have a fight. What you did was embarrassing, pretty much, because we haven't seen him in the ring under this banner of BLK. Now, if you're going to be somewhere, at the forefront, spearheading a charge like this, and you want to get in front of your freaking listeners and say you're signing someone and he's going to be the first fighter, and a lot of people know this guy, but nothing happens. Why, Blue? Can you tell me, Drew, BF? Why didn't Brian Norman? Y'all all had him on the show. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, cool. I already know what's going on. You had him on your show. You made the rounds. It was good to see, Brian back at it, because the last time he was out here, this active on YouTube, is from the Gervonta Davis sparring session. Okay? What happened to his fight? Not only did one fight fall out, but two fights fell out. Why? Why? We're talking about boxing business, bro. Why did his fight fall out? Explain that shit to me. Why couldn't you make it official and sustainable for this man to leave your platform, be in the gym like he always is, and make it to the ring under this banner to fight? Why did his opponents keep falling out? I need questions, man. Why was his opponents continue to fall out? Because if his opponents is falling out and you couldn't make this deal happen, now all of a sudden you want us to believe that you have reached to the highest tier and somehow drew Crawford attention and to broker a $10 million deal, and you couldn't even get Brian Norman in the dang ring? You couldn't even get Brian Norman Jr. in the ring. His opponents kept falling out, and you up here telling people, you have these goofballs going around, hey, we wanna commend Blue for, help broke. He didn't help shit, bro. He helped further strangle the integrity that is missing here on the YTC. He didn't help broker a motherfucking thing. Nada. Nothing. Don't believe that shit. Don't believe it. It gets deeper now. It gets deeper because we gotta stand on it, right? We gotta stand on whatever honor that we're standing behind on this word. You know what I'm saying? Your word is either dead or it's born. Which one is it? I mean, you have to stand on it to the point where you're not fooling the fans no more. Those of you individuals that be in his chat, be in these chats where these people continue to rah, 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 rah. How did they feel when the news broke that Terrence Crawford is going to be facing David Avanesian now? How did that make you feel? Y'all been up here talking. And all along, you've been up here acting like Crawford didn't have a promoter and he was the one holding up the fight. And the man has pretty much accepted all the terms. But it didn't happen. So on the PBC side, the shit's been capped. And then when Blue's sitting up here trying to act like, oh, well, PBC couldn't get Crawford signed, but I can help broker a deal. Prove it. I'm calling you out. Prove it. Prove that shit. Prove it. That's what I'm doing. Prove that you helped broker a deal. Show some documentation. Get someone that works there. Because we already know who's in the company, who the professionals. We already know that it's a black-led company. Let's look at some of the feedback that you got. All right? Let's look at this tweet. This is Trayvon Crawford. So at Errol Spence Jr., you're going to sit here and lie to these fans like you ain't the one holding up the fight? It's sad. You using the weight shit as an excuse to move up to get away. That's all you doing to stop that capping shit, because at some point, the real gonna come out. One hundo. The real is gonna come out. This is all the Spencerholics. We've been talking about this shit forever and a day. That you all are making up shit when you know damn well that PBC is the one holding up everything. But look, we already know that. We're gonna leave that for later. We already know. But my whole point in addressing this today, I feel some type of way that a fighter out of ATL was moved, slid into certain areas, led astray, as if something special was really going on. And anybody who knows the boxing community in ATL, we don't have times that we can slip up and fall down here when it comes to the boxing, because people don't take boxing serious enough down here in the ATL across the board. So we don't need the fighters that mean something down here to be paraded around off some false ass information. And that's exactly what Blue did. False ass information. He might have had intentions to sign freaking Brian Norman, but the falsity falls into play when he didn't make it to the ring. That goes for anybody and everybody who was supporting this shit. You all are guilty of it too. Because once again, like I asked the Spencerholics, I say from the time that he fought Porter until the time in October where he had the accident, where were you all? From the time that Brian Norman left the panel of Blue and he was in the gym working, waiting on an opponent, where were you all at? Were y'all together in a private chat trying to figure this shit out? Did you get with the members of BLK so they can find him an opponent? You can't find him an opponent that you willing to pay that money for? What are we talking about here? You cannot find this man an opponent? So I want to first and foremost put that out there. You dropped the ball on that, brother. You dropped the ball on that, man. You, Blue, you dropped the ball on Brian Norman after parading him around on this social media shit, and you couldn't even get him in the ring with a solid opponent. You did. You dropped the ball on it. You dropped the ball, bro. Trap Media on deck. What's good? Blue Bait is all cap in the pot. They hired Blue Bait as a commentator, and he think he own the place. No, I got some more shit now. Don't think it's over. I got some more shit. Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz and more. What's good, OG? How you feeling? Big Blunts on Boxing. What's good with it? I was over there with Shaw, but we here now. What's good? Salute to Big Blunts of Boxing, Showtime Shaw, Andrew Charles on deck. Salute. So I was pretty disturbed seeing it all play out. You know what I'm saying? Because I have had the opportunity to cover Brian Norman Jr. Years ago up to this point. And you know what? I didn't jump in the chat or anything. I didn't call bullshit. I didn't ruin his moment or anything. You know what I'm saying? I was there when he fought Tank. Those two sparring sessions, those legendary sparring sessions. I was there, bro. But this is the deal. What I'm trying to make with Brian Norman Jr. is that the fact that Blue is trying to convince the YTC, because he has no respect for you all. He pretty much think that he can do a live 20 times a day and don't talk about anything except who's popping up in the chat. Coolio on deck. What it is. Heavy D in the board. Yeah. Jay-Z on deck. What it do? Pants low. Diggable planets. African Bambaataa on deck 246. What you should be paying attention to is making sure your criteria isn't further degrading and diminishing, because you couldn't keep a fighter like Brian Norman on the docket to step in the square. But yet you had a chance encounter at 7-Eleven where you're trying to convince the people that you got the contact. You know what I'm saying? You was able to say some words. You was able to plea, and you was able to get Crawford to cross over, who was having a tough negotiation period with PBC, who never was trying to get this man in the ring with Errol Spence. They knew damn well that money would be out the window. This man has had a heyday with defeating PBC fighters. Him being Terrence Crawford, a heyday. They didn't want Errol Spence to be the next one to go up there and take that L. Excuse me, the L. They didn't want that. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. They want something that's for sure. They want to make sure if they make this fight, that Errol Spence is going to come out on top. They don't have the faith in it. You know what I'm saying? I always mention how Timothy Smith told you all. He gave you the warning. He put it out there. But y'all too stupid. Y'all kept on wishing and hoping that something would happen. You kept on saying to yourselves, well, we can keep on blaming Crawford while this negotiation takes place. But guess what? There's nowhere else for you all to go. This shit is over. People were saying that Errol Spence was going to fight Keith Thurman. You know, that he was going to fight freaking Stanthionis. He was going to fight somebody regardless, outside the name of Terrence Bud Crawford. But what we're not going to do is pretend like there's a deal that's brokered. Now, let's talk about this deal, right? So BLK is attached via the YTC to a talent acquisition or talent agent in blue, right? Cheyenne. So with that becomes an individual that's trying to prove to people that he can now levitate his career to an important role, somewhat like a role that Shaw News has. Shaw News is actually a part of a team. You know, he was recognized on a huge media platform as the media marketing agent. I think Blue Blood is actually trying to get himself to a point where he can be identified as someone that's a primary role player in the sport of boxing. He cannot do that because, for one, we're talking about the BLK situation. Let's talk about the paperwork. Now, for what I'm hearing is money has been exchanged, allegedly, between BLK and that fighter, whether his name be Brian Norman Jr. or freaking Terrence Bud Crawford. I don't know the numbers, none of that shit. But there had to be some type of vested interest in order to sway or lure or entice Terrence Bud Crawford to say, you know what, maybe this is a good deal for me. Let me have my people look into it. So you know how they give them, you know, the upfront money to sweeten the deal and let them know they're serious. You know, the type of money, if they lose it, it's not going to really matter to them. But check this out. It can be just enough money to keep someone in place long enough for a platform like the YTC to start talking about it. And that's exactly what's going on. If you think for one point or another that 10 million has been securely put in escrow and it's there waiting, then good luck with that. But I did hear through rumor mill that he may have received some funds to keep him in place, to keep him motivated, enticed to fight on the BLK. Now, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about what we mentioned already about this backlash that's going on. No, let me get up out of here. Let me go back to this. Now they want to do a pay-per-view of $39.95. $39.95. So the word that's out there is that Terrence Bud Crawford will be paid 8 figures. Not 10 million, 8 figures. Now, I know I have some smart individuals in the chat. If by chance you can drop that link to a news source that said Crawford was getting paid $10 million even. I know why people are running with this shit. All right? But I just want you to help me help the listeners. Drop a link outside of YouTube videos that a news outlet said he was getting paid $10 million. Okay? But we know Mike Carpenter came out and he put it out and people ran with it. All right? And this is what they ran with. Mike Carpenter put out there, Crawford will earn a career high 8-figure payday for the fight, sources said. Now, this, like many other fights that's been negotiated in boxing, it's a process that it entails. It's paperwork, it's meetings, it's communication back and forth between teams, managements, attorneys. It's a lot that goes on. So much to the fact that we can be confident enough within ourselves to say, in none of those attempts, in none of those type of actions, Blue was a part of that shit. Blue wasn't a part of the communication process where he was absolutely leading the charge on what the numbers are going to be like. He wasn't a part of that. He hasn't sat down at the table. As a constituent that reached out to me with some pictures, I didn't see your picture up there would be okay. I need visual reinforcement sometime, especially when I'm doing research. I like visual reinforcement. I didn't get that. When those pictures were sent to me, I was looking, I was like, please, let him be just one picture, with or without the extension. One picture. I didn't see one picture of you up there. I said one picture. I did not see it. So therefore, I was like, ugh. I started to, what the fuck, man? I'm trying to find out how is he inserted into this brokering of a $10 million fight with a streaming service that has never, ever put on a fight of this magnitude with a name such as Terrence Bud Crawford. That's facts. Did you hear what I just said? They've never did it. They have never, ever did it. Now, it's no knock on them. They seem like very good people. Plus, they my people, they black-led company. Nothing on them. But they have never put on a fight of this magnitude. Never put on a fight of this magnitude. Right? So, you say to yourself, what else there could be? Why is WCS speaking on this the way he is? What else could it be? He said a constituent sent him some pictures. Blue was absent from that pictures. You know what I'm saying? People are trying to insinuate that a chance encounter up in Newark, New Jersey brought this all about. Ooh, rah, la da da. Now we should big up. No, it ain't no bigging up. This type of shit don't have no legs, bro. This has no legs. This is not going to run anywhere. You're not running off with a false ass insinuation that someone's brokering a $10 million fake news. Fake motherfucking news. Fake news. That shit's fake news. Where's your picture at? Where's the communication? You had Brian Norman Jr. on your platform. Why haven't you had a BLK representative come on your platform? Why haven't it happened yet? If you have a deal that's out here in the general public and people are talking about it, why haven't you brought it to the attention of your viewers yet? Okay, let's keep it moving. So we know who he's fighting, right? We know who Crawford's fighting. All right? He's fighting David Avanesian, 29 victories, 3 defeats, 1 draw. 17 coming by way of knockout. All right. I want to show you something. I have to share screen for this. I have to share screen with this for this. All right. I want to show you something that's very important to note. That locks in with this $10 million supposedly. Okay. So let me share screen right quick. And let's talk about this. Let's look at the box rec of David Avanesian. Now, the Spencerholics, you notice I haven't really mentioned too much about them because I'm not really trying to get some lemon juice and put some salt in that motherfucker with some vinegar and throw it on their wounds. So because they're ripped apart right now. They're psychologically dead. They don't know what to do. Confused, discombobulated, deranged. Look at David Avanesian, 29 victories in, 3 defeats, y'all. Look, he's a Russian fighter, right? Now, drum roll. I want to help y'all paint this frame. Listen to me. Listen to what WCS is about to do. We're talking about $10 million. BLK Prime is attempting to put on a fight that they've never been a part of in whatever movement they're trying to make. Once again, it's no knock on them, but we're talking about a grand $10 million price tag on this fight. I'm about to show you something, and I want you to try to help me, help you, help me understand where this is headed. As I stroll down, right? Now, Avanesian's 34, okay? We already know Crawford. You know, he just, you know, he's getting up there. He only has so many fights left in the game. Let me stroll down. Let me break this down to you. Look at this right here, y'all. Look at this right here. Now, Avanesian has 2 fight dates coming up. You see the man himself, Terrence Crawford, 38-0 at the top of that. Jean Miguez is Avanesian's next opponent, November 19th. This is his next opponent, November 19th. From November 19th to December 10th, you do the motherfucking math. You do the motherfucking math. 21 days. This dude is going in there fighting an undefeated fighter. And you're saying to yourself, well, WCS, what point you trying to make here? This is boxing. It's okay. Okay, cool. John Miguez is 17-0. Don't mean nothing. He can have soft touches, right? Let's check him out. Let's check out John Miguez right quick. All right. So peep this out, y'all. Hold up. Hold up. So let's bring up John Miguez. There you go. 17-0. Clean record, don't he? 17-0. 8 knockouts. Remember, this fighter right here is a Spaniard. Let's look at this beautiful resume, right? John Miguez is set to fight David Avanesian. It's scheduled here on BoxRec in the UK. So let's check this out as to how it blends in with this $10 million grand tag. You know what I'm saying? This grand tag that Blue supposedly helped broker. You go down to his resume, it's nothing important. You know what I'm saying? They raised him up through the game carefully, cautiously. Nothing. Did you see anything that stands out to you? Did you see anything that stands out to you, really? Put it in the chat, please. I'm going to give you about 3 to 5 minutes. I want you to put it in the chat. Looking at John Miguez's resume, what stands out to you all? Come on, man. We're all in class together on this shit. What stands out? What stands out? Let me know. Let me know, y'all. What stands out? Pay attention. What stands out on his resume? Somebody put it in the chat. John Miguez is the next opponent of David Avanesian. What stands out in his resume? Seeing me stroll up and down, what stands out to you? Give you one more minute. Come on now. Come on now. I'll leave it right there. I'll stop strolling up and down. What stands out to you? Attention to detail. Attention to detail. What stands out? Come on, man. Come on, y'all. What stands out? Anybody. I don't care if you're wrong. In between, what stands out to you? Anybody? Okay. No one answered. How many of his fights has been outside of Spain? How many of his fights? He's taken his first fight out of his home country, right? Against David Avanesian. All of his fight has been over there. They've raised this guy up on his home soil, and his first fight is going to be against David Avanesian, right? So let's go back to David. If you count the amount of days between November 19th and December 10th, it comes to about 21 days. Appreciate that, Alexander. Appreciate it. It comes to about 21 days. Now let's do this motherfucking math, because it's all about the views, right? I got 2 above a dime. Now check me out though. If you look at a fight in November and another fight he's supposed to have with Terrence Crawford December 10th, it's around 21 days. You take that window and you say to yourself, wow, that's a beautiful $10 million window right there. They're over here talking about someone brokering a $10 million deal that entails a 21-day grace period between David fighting John Miguez until he steps in the ring with Terrence Crawford in a short notice for $10 million on pay-per-view. I want you to just relax. Just relax. Just say, WCS, why you do this shit though? Why you do it to him like that? Just exhale. So 21 days, pay-per-view, supposedly, allegedly, 10 million on pay-per-view. A fighter that has a 21-day grace period is stepping in the ring with the pound-for-pound best pay-per-view, $39.95. 10 million. 10 million on a 21-day grace period from his previous fight on pay-per-view. And what do you expect the fight fans to do? You want to talk about how many pay-per-views that Deontay Wilder did with Robert Helenius, but you not understanding we're dealing with the same human beings that will look at this fight and remember what I said. 21-day grace period with the 10 million from what they saying, with a pay-per-view of $39.95. Now you explain to me and the human beings where are they located, what movie set they're on, because this can't be real now. This can't be real. What movie set they're on, and just please guide us through how the human beings are supposed to look at this and say, you know what, the $39.95 is not that bad. I'm just gonna pay for it. And plus, David Avanesian, he's a tough fighter. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. He's a tough fighter. He's about to, go in there and fight an undefeated fighter who never had a fight outside of Spain. Oh man, this is gonna be a war. This is going to be a war. 21-day grace period too. 10 million for a 21 grace period. Now, where I'm getting at with this is that if you follow boxing long enough, that's all I'm saying. If you follow the sport long enough, you would say to yourself, I don't believe it. You would say to yourself, is this true? Just because you have a black-led company, do you believe they're trying to go out here with no previous knowledge as to how boxing pay-per-view works? Right? And also, they have to take in consideration on where they are sourcing this 10 million from, supposedly, because Mike Carpenter said an 8-figure, right? Now people have ran with 10 million. I hope Crawford get as much as he possibly can, but I'm doing this on a media point. I want him to get paid because they was fucking him off over there doing negotiations with PBC. But a 21-day grace period with a tag of 10 million and Blue's not breaking this shit down for you, it doesn't make sense. It's good for the exposure. If they can pull this out, they'll be overpaying. Not overpaying for Crawford in a sense for what he's earned in his career, but for David Avanesian. You know what I'm saying? All people who's up here crying about is that David lost to Igis Kavalaskis that Terrence Crawford defeated. Okay. The Spencer Holics is going to go on record as trying to debunk all this shit. Okay. You have every right to do it. It's public record. It's out there. But when I'm jumping around in this bitch, I want you also to understand that if you're placing a $10 million price tag with a fighter who has a 21-day grace period until he steps in the ring with one of the baddest men in boxing, who has 6 straight stoppages in the welterweight division, and you want someone to even think about grabbing hold of their wallet or their purse and pay $39.95? How are you going to get your money? You just seen with everything that was going on with Tyson Fury and Robert Helenius, they still talking about the 70K. 77K, right? So what are we supposed to do with the $39.95? With the fighter who they believe has no chance of beating Terrence Crawford. No chance. Especially with a short layover. You need every bit of 8 weeks minimal to come in here and prepare for someone like Terrence Crawford. But Avanesian is taking a fight, y'all. He's taking a fight in the UK prior to stepping in the square. He has to maintain some type of discipline with his weight, even during that 21-day grace period, to make the weight to step in there with Crawford to get paid. That's if the fight happens. Just take a little bit of time. You know what I'm saying? Let that marinate a little bit now. Don't say I'm just up here hating and I'm not trying to goddamn break some shit down for you. Let that shit marinate on you. Let it sit on you now. Let that shit sit on you like a smoke bomb. Like somebody dropped the egg on your head in the summer. And you haven't had lunch yet. And you found out, damn, that shit's cooked already. How does this work? Okay. This was the next, right? Rick Glaser came out. He's been hot, as always, on Twitter, right? So Rick Glaser come out with this. He says, for those thinking at Terrence Crawford is at fault, he's not fighting Spence. You're mistaken. Crawford retained a second attorney to make it happen. Once again, a second attorney to make it happen. Heyman threw up so many roadblocks and stall tactics over 5 months. Crawford realized this isn't happening and simply moved on. Hasn't Rick Glaser been consistent? Spencerholics, hasn't he been consistent with letting you all know who's been the holdup over there? He's been consistent the whole entire time. Me and some other people have been consistent. I didn't believe these false ass dates. I said it wasn't happening in October. Let's see. Let's see if it happened in October. Let's see if it happened in November. None of that. None of that materialized. None of it. But all of a sudden, YouTube has a so-called head honcho, a boxing business extraordinaire in our presence that's going to be a part of brokering a 21-day period with the fighter who's going to step in the ring and then take Crawford on short notice, and BLK Prime wants you to pay $39.95 for that shit. Now, I'm not mad at all. This has nothing to do with Terrence Crawford. I'm glad he's out of that situation he's in. I'm speaking solely on the perception that Blue had anything to do with this $10 million. That is something I can't let ride to the gullible people that's out here thinking they're living in a freaking animated world. No, this is real life out here. Where do you get the evidence? Have someone on your panel. I'm telling you this. If I was associated with them and they believe in me, they have provided me a position, a professional position, I need to have them on here to clear this up. I need to prove WCS wrong. I need to prove them wrong. I'm indeed a role player, and also we have faith that this fight is going to happen. This fight is supposed to be going down in Crawford's backyard. This is huge because he's had some big fights in his backyard. He brings the fight home to Omaha, Nebraska. But my whole point is the $10 million. When I hear cats like Drew up here hyping it up, BF hyping this shit up, no. Provide me more clarity, more evidence to this shit. How is he a part? How and what documentation do you have to sustain that he was partially involved in making this happen? Where is it? Prove it to me. Prove it. Because if you let me keep on talking and don't respond, it's going to continue to put you into a predicament, which a lot of your supporters are going to look at it like a shameless representation, a shameful representation. That's what they're going to look at it, as shameful. If you don't have anything to respond, anybody from the BLK that can come in here and help you out and validate that you are part of this, I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit, bro. I'm calling bullshit on this. You're not going to sit up here and try to ride the wave off the back of a fighter that you don't even support. You don't even support this man, bro. You don't support him. You didn't even have enough cojones to stand on your own. If you was really fucking with Terrence like that, you would have stayed with him because he's still undefeated and he ain't had no hiccups where he took a L or anything, bro. But you chose to damn leave and go over here to the Spencerholic brand and you feeling like, damn, I fucked up. That was an ill-advised move I made. Maybe it was a bit impulsive, but I made it anyway. Yeah. I know you had those self-reflections, those conversations. You know, you was the one that said these individuals need to grab a mirror. Well, goddamn it. I'm asking myself, if you're talking to your reflection, right? Can you have a dialogue without lying to yourself? Is it any way possible that you can convince your reflection to believe that you had something to do with brokering a $10 million deal? Where did this take place? Prove it to the people, man. Where did this shit take place? Because I'm going to show you this right here. This is what I'm going to show you. You want the fans to buy $39.95, but you have a 21-day grace period between him stepping out the ring, if there's no cuts or anything else, from John Miguez, 17-0, to stepping in the square with a killer. With a motherfucking killer. So that's what we're supposed to believe? I got it. I got it. I got it, shawty. I got it. Y'all hold on for a second, man. I got it. I got it, man. I just try to put it out there as peaceful as I possibly can, but we're not gonna do this where we want to betray the listeners to further believe that certain people are all about ego-driven narratives and they're willing to fabricate anything. This is pure fabrication, man. Prove it. Give us the documentation, man. Prove that you had anything to do with it. For look, this shit ain't about to float around like a blimp, cause motherfuckers clout chasing off a fighter. Look, off a fighter that you really don't fuck with like that. You're not about to clout chase like that, man. Fuck that. You're not about to do it, man. I'm gonna have something to say about it. You're not about to do it. Prove it. Prove it, and I'll shut up. I'll start talking about it. But you or any one of your people that's up here going panel to panel and sitting up here, man, hey, congratulations, man. This is cool. No, I ain't gonna let that shit ride, bro. Don't think I'm gonna let it ride, because you got to prove it. We're not in freaking fairy tale land. You know what I'm saying? Where everything is animated. This ain't the lands of the Smurfs. This is not Tom and Jerry. This is not the land of cartoons, man, where you can do things that you wouldn't be able to do in real life. You know what I'm saying? You can just walk around and be goofy all day and make people believe shit that's damn near impossible. That you're immortal. Where is the documentation? Where's the conversation? Where's the documentation? Where's the conversation? Where's the documentation? Where's the conversation to this fight that you supposedly partially brokered? I want to know. You have a 21-day grace period. A 21-day grace period. And you're speaking of 10 million? And by the way, has anybody dropped that link in the chat yet? Have y'all dropped that link in the chat about the 10 million? What was that again? Because I read that Mike Carpenter said an 8-figure. So what did you do? You just rounded it up from 9 to 10 and say, you know what? Let me see. 1 0, that's 2. Another 3 zeros, that's 5. Oh shit. Let me see. 3, 4, 5. Let me see. 3 more zeros. 6, 7, 8. That's it. It's 10. 1 and a 0, comma, 0, 0, 0. That's 5. Another 3 zeros after the comma. 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow. People just ran with that shit. 10 million even across the board. Man, stop it. Big Blunt said that's 3 weeks. 3 weeks there, Blunts. 3 weeks, brother. 3 fucking weeks. 10 million with a $39.95 pay-per-view. 10 million. Now, look, I'm not trying to say that I'm this historian and I'm deep in the boxing game when it comes to the business aspect. It's just a lot of shit that's general fucking knowledge in certain areas that requires common sense to formulate a result. This is one of those situations because I'm seeing 2 schedules on Avanesian's Backrec. You're telling me 21 freaking days. 21 days, like Blunt said. 3 motherfucking weeks. 10 million. 10 million is coming out. 10 million is coming out for a fighter who's taking this on barely any fight camp with $39.95 pay-per-view. Why do that to yourselves? Who's going to buy that? Who's going to buy that? Not only this, wasn't it a recent event? Y'all stick with me. Now, shout out to Coach, man. New Media Today, USA Boxing, man. Damn good live. Fire-ass live, bro. One of the hottest channels in the game right now, man. Salute to you. Doing your motherfucking thing, dog. Now peep this out. What do you want? What do you want to happen? What do you want me to say? When I reach back to the Tevin Farmer, Mickey Bay situation, where this was supposed to be a fight that was going to be on that same streaming, and you had individuals that say they purchased the shit, allegedly, and couldn't get their money back. And then you had individuals that couldn't purchase it. It was disorganized. There was boxing fans who wasn't able to access. But the fight fell out anyway. Okay? It's the reason why I'm bringing this up. The fight fell out anyway. The fight, the promoters and everything. But you have to understand, these were big names at one point in time. Former world champions that was attached to the BLK brand. And this fight fell apart because the co-promoter did not bring the cash on deck and everything else that spiraled out of control from there. Coming again, Brian Norman Jr. He's brought on to this YouTube community. He's paraded, and they want to, big him up tomorrow. We're going to make this huge. This is going to be great. Nothing. Disappeared behind the scenes. Opponents are falling out. Opponents are falling out. The man wasn't even making in there and goddamn fight under this brand again. Now, the grandiose of them all. The grandiose moment of them all to close out 2022. We have to do damage control because we couldn't get a 22-0 fighter, Brian Norman, to step in the square under this brand. Now we're going to get Terrence Bud Crawford, who's actually the elite. So you're telling us you're going to pay $10 million for an opponent that you're going to overlook, that people are not looking for, right? People are not looking for. Once again, let me stop sharing. Let me share something else with you, okay? Let me go over here and share something else. Let me share something else with you, though. We're not done. Let me share this with you, too. This is the $10 million question mark. All right? Let me go back in there, share this motherfucking screen right here. It's very important that we need to see this shit. So, let's go down here. Because hopefully we don't get no Carlos Ocampo. Because Ocampo came out of nowhere and he stepped in there as the mandatory for Errol Spence back in the day. Dude just came from the bottom depths. Papa, I'm here. Ta-da. Okay, let's go down to 147, right? Peep this out. So, that go the WBO World Welterweight Champion. And there you go. He's ranked number 6. The reason why I'm bringing this up is this will be quite different on a whole nother level, a whole nother plateau, right? If we was talking about a Virgil Ortiz, a Jerron Ennis, a Keith Thurman, Real talk. Even the Conor Ben, slightly a little bit less Cody Crowley. But David is sitting at number 6. David is sitting at number 6, not number 1, not number dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. No. He's sitting at number 6. So how are you motivating the fight fans to reach and pay even $39.95 for this? Now, once again, my language would be different. My tone would be different if we're talking about goddamn Virgil Ortiz or Jerron Ennis. If we're talking about Keith Thurman even. Take those 3 right there, people. Hey, the conversation is different. They in the chat saying, man, you out your fucking mind. People gonna pay $39.95 to see Jerron Ennis in that motherfucker? Are you crazy? This gonna be a hell. Look, that's the shit BLK would have loved to be a part of. Virgil Ortiz stepping out. Oh shit, we paying that. Mexican fan base all over. Man, we got to see this. Virgil getting his shot at Terrence Crawford. Oh my God, we got to see it. How much the PPV? All right, cool. We good. The post is different. Everything. It looks promising off the eye test. That's what I'm telling you. This shit looks promising, bro. Keith Thurman, Jerron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, off the eye test. This shit look promising to me. But when you come to David, a 21-day window, 10 million, I have to ask you this. How much is David getting paid? He's coming in on short notice. How much is David getting? I'm really not pocket watching. I'm just trying to figure this all out on if this is indeed true. It's going to go down historically as one of the most eccentric, awkward type fight arrangements that we've witnessed of this era. Real talk. That would be another bragging right of Terrence Crawford if he's indeed able to make it to the ring and they award him with a $10 million purse now. That's OG status again. He already was getting high guarantee money, but for him to walk in here and get this 10 mics, for him to get the 10 mics, y'all, off an opponent who just fought 21. Stop it, man. Stop it, man. Stop it. Stop it, man. I'm just trying to put that shit up there. I'm just trying to help y'all understand where I'm coming from, man. That's all. Receipts, we need the fucking paperwork. That's what we need, man. Balash, what's good? On deck, salute to you. Pop, what's good? WCS with the hot grease, no doubt, no doubt. Sir Senior on deck, what's good? At WCS, we wanted to see Bud back in the ring. Now you counting people pockets and doing algebra. You know they making millions off the fact boxing fans can't count. And we can't count on them. Look, he goes on to saying number 4, 8, 6 in belt rankings. You know what I'm saying? Hey, peep this. This is all I'm trying to do, right? I thought it was necessary to speak on something that seems a bit weird and strange to me. I'm not the type of person to really converse about numbers. I feel the fighter has every right to expound as much as they possibly can, negotiate their worth. Make sure their Wall Street is high as it possibly can be, and they get paid because they're going in there taking a punishment, whether it's in fight camp or the ring, right? This is no different. My whole point for this is to help the gullible. You're not going to do it, bro. You sat up here and had a fighter from my backyard. You didn't even take care of him. You couldn't even have enough strength and leadership to make sure he got in the ring. But all of a sudden, you're in a position now to broker a deal with one of the most elite fighters in the global spectrum. And you want to run around with this narrative saying that you had a part in that. And these goofballs that's around you are going to support it? They're going to run with it too? Nope. Bullshit. We need paperwork, documentation. We need conversation, documentation, conversation. Give us something. Bring somebody on the platform so they can shut WCS up. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? With all those viewers you got, because we always got to look at the viewer. All those viewers you got, all you have to do is bring one person on the platform and basically discuss this grand fight going down in December. Because I'm happy. If Crawford gets 10 million, I'm happy for him, dog. Because we all know it was dirty, dog, grimy, slimy shit that was going on over there with negotiation. That shit was disrespectful. First of all, taking that time period out of his life. A man that's been in the sport as long as he has, right? You took time out of his life. And then he's up there talking about Errol Spence was nowhere to be found. But yet, all of a sudden, when this news break on Boxing Scene, Errol comes out with multiple tweets talking about, oh, I've been in this weight for quite some time. And man, fuck out of here with that. What did I tell you all, man? Why do y'all fucking believe that you got to have an extensive amount of people listening to you? I mean, in your chat as a viewer, all right? For that to determine the quality of the conversation or the quality of the dialogue. What did I tell you all? I said Errol Spence was a part of this shit. Errol Spence was a part of this whole fiasco. And people up here, no, he's not. He really wants to fight. It proves it by the tweets he just released again. He said we'll give him 70, 30, 80, 20 or anything we feel like. That was his genuine, the way he felt. That shit was genuine. It was organic. He said that shit. I told you all he was a part of it. They was talking about, well, Terrence, when he did that interview and the guy attempted, let me see if I still have that video. The guy attempted to speak a little ill about Terrence. And I mean about Errol. And then, you know, I told people that Terrence Crawford was being professional about it. Well, guess what? Guess what? Does it sound like Bud is freaking expired with trying to be professional? Does it feel that way when you read this shit right here? Does it feel that he's still being professional? No, he's exhausted, bro. They've been at this shit since June. He's motherfucking exhausted, y'all. What did he say in the bottom one? I agree to all of their BS. And they've been dragging their ass for months. Spence was nowhere to be found. Nowhere, y'all. You know, look, y'all know y'all was on here talking about, oh, Spence ain't been saying shit. He been quiet. He been quiet. He been quiet. Now you know why. Now that it's coming out that the fight is off, all of a sudden he want to talk about weight issues. When they was just bragging and people up here having Blu-ray conversations about Blu-ray saying, oh, he want to roll with the white boy when it comes to nutrition. You know, he was undefeated with me. We had like 11 knockouts. I understand where Blu-ray was coming from. He felt that he had a freaking dynamic type of system that was working. I get it. But Derrick James was bragging about the nutritionists and who they got in the camp. And people was looking and say, oh man, Errol looks good. He's in shape. Shredded. Shredded. And now he gets up here, oh, man, y'all think this shit fun, man. It ain't fun, man. It ain't fun, man. I've been at welterweight damn near my whole career, man. This shit ain't. When did this come about? Because you just said you're going to get that fucking belt. You know, Crawford, I'm coming for that fucking belt. We didn't hear like, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sure if I can make this weight again. You know, because he said he only had 2 fights remaining now. Let's not forget that. One of those fights was subtracted when he fought Udenis Ugas in April. Let's get the shit right. So he has one more fight supposedly in his own words, at welterweight. And that fight won't be with Terrence Crawford from what it's looking like. At least in 2022, it won't. Balaj coming here talking about drop the link. I'm going to drop the link, bro. Just give me a minute. Shout out to the genius himself, Boxing Conversations, man. That's a smart brother right there. You might look at it like, why somebody call you genius? People are genius in their own way, man. You know what I'm saying? They have their own type of genius. They're educated in their own depth, fields of depth. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Reggie Owens on deck with it, man. You think this Terrence Crawford fight versus David Avenesian isn't worth $39.95? I didn't say it wasn't worth, okay? I didn't say it wasn't worth. You didn't hear isn't worth. I'm saying to the public, like the boxing fans, we're struggling right now, right? We're seriously struggling with this shit because we're not getting the fights that we want, especially when it comes to Crawford Spence. So therefore, listen, Blas, if you take the psychological damage that we've been put through the last several years talking about Crawford Spence, all the arguments, all the animus, the contentiousness, the verbal sparring, all of that shit taking place over the YouTube community over and over again, right? Only to find out that the fight isn't happening this year when this has been the closest that the fight fans thought we was coming to seeing them square up, touch gloves, right? So now we want to talk about decompression. Let's talk about decompression. Let's make them forget about it. Boom, right away. Look, I'm not going against the grain on this. I'm glad he's getting a fight, okay? Now you want the fight fans to decompress and say, you know what, we're not getting that, but I'll pay $39.95 to see him fight David Avenesian. No knock on Avenesian. No knock on that. But I'm saying from the fight fans' perspective, and then the bow tie that they're trying to put on this motherfucker that has 1 0 and an M on the 10 million. Not only that, this person trying to say that they are partially responsible for that shit connecting. No, bro, I don't believe it. I don't believe it, bro. I don't believe that shit. Hey, John, cut your camera off, bro. John, cut your camera off, big dog. They don't need to know who you are. They don't need to know who you are, dog. You need to stay in the shadows and talk that shit. What's going on with it, OG? How you feeling?
Man, I'm good. What's up with you, bro? You hear me? Hello?
What you say? Yeah, I can hear you.
I said, I'm good, bro. What's going on?
I'm good, man. Just sitting up here, talking about this situation. Now listen, can you go back a little bit? I had you on before, but unfortunately, we had an individual that was being disrespectful. But you pretty much called it, man. You pretty much called it back then that you said that Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford wasn't going to happen.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You said it wasn't going to happen, and it didn't happen. Why did you feel it wasn't going to happen way back several months ago?
It's a fighter. A fighter don't dictate the pace of the fight. His representation do. So it's two sides. They couldn't get along. So you're never gonna get a deal. You're never gonna get a deal like that. Because it's not up to Earl or Terrence for the fight. It's up to their people. Representation, you feel me?
What do you think these two fighters, went through? Do you think it was equal 50-50 in their investment to fight one another? Or you think it was more one-sided and a fighter won their fight, vice one that wasn't totally confident. What's your take on that, man?
It's one sided. It's one sided. And when I say one sided, I mean let's just tell the truth and keep it real, you know. Earl Spence ain't the boogeyman no more. He's a fraction of himself. You know what I'm saying? Chance Crawford is, you know, Earl Spence ain't never been beat on in the ring, but he got beat on outside the ring. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Chance Crawford is fresh. Chance Crawford got the advantage because he ain't really been through. He ain't really got wear and tear on his body like Spence got. And we also got to understand, regardless of what we think or who we think Chance Crawford ain't fought, hey, the man got skills. Let's just put it out there. That would be the toughest fight Earl Spence ever had to face. That'd be the toughest fight in Earl Spence's career. That'd be the toughest fight.
So you're basically saying beat on, as in, you know, being in a situation like the car accident, the damnness, you know, could have been fatal, and him living the way he was living. Okay, I got you.
And you know, it's timing. Boxing is a game of timing and inches, man. Your timing is everything in boxing. He's not the boogeyman from the Olympics. He ain't that type of dude at the moment. He's not that guy.
At one point in time, you know, professionally they was calling him the boogeyman because the rumor was out that he had put in work against Floyd. You know, he had went in there and did what he did to several sparring partners. At one point in time, they saying he was a boogeyman. You feel me?
He was at that point in time, but he was the boogeyman before the rig. Let's be real about it. He went 12 rounds with Ugas. He went 12 rounds with Sean Porter. If he didn't have that rig, Sean Porter or Dennis Ugas don't last 6 rounds for him, man. They don't last.
Well, he had the damn accident after Sean Porter though. But he was drinking.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying, if none of these things occur, meaning his lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Earl Spence that saw against Ocampo. I'm talking about the Earl Spence against Kell Brook. I'm talking about the dude back there.
Yeah.
He's a fraction of himself now. And it's not saying that he is slow or none of that. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying traumatic experience as a boxer, because I've been a boxer. Before I was a promoter, before I was matchmaking, became executive, I fought all my life. But it's things that slow your reflexes down, man. It's things that gonna knock your reflexes off.
Did you see anything that was concerning with his fight? Because, you know, a lot of people talk about his fight with Ugas and just look at it like, yeah, he was caught with a shot, but Ugas landed a shot when he had his back turned, when Errol had his back turned. So that's the reason why he went up against the ropes. It wasn't that he was hurt.
He was hurt. It's like this. The only thing that Earl Spence got that's wrong with him right now at the moment is reflex. It's a reflex problem. It's not he can't fight, and it's not that he still. It just some of the recent fights, Ugas would have never went 6 rounds with Earl Spence if none of this stuff would happen. He wouldn't have. Because you got to understand, when I'm talking about the Mikey Garcia Earl Spence. I'm talking about the Campo Earl Spence. I'm talking about the Earl Spence with Kell Brook. I'm talking about that Earl Spence, not this Earl Spence now. We're talking about the Earl Spence back there. Mm-hmm. He was the boogeyman. Just be real about it. He was the boogeyman. But now he ain't the boogeyman because everybody knows what's going on. He a fraction of himself.
I just look at it, you know, him being called the boogeyman, but when Crawford was in the position, You know, when he was in division, when he finally moved up, I didn't see him as being with that tag.
And that's right.
I
And
didn't
that's
see
true.
him with that tag.
That's true. But what we have to understand that boxing is, everybody look at boxing like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to nobody, but let's just understand that boxing is not a sport. It's a business, bro. It's a business. And business is going to keep Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence away from each other. That's just logical. Like, let's just go back. Why did it take us 20 years to see Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather? Because it's a business. You feel me? It's a business. At the time, they both was on a high plateau in their career, and they both was cash cows. So why would you put two cash cows in there to mess up the money? You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. I'm listening.
It's a business. This is not a boxing move. This is a business move.
So do you think it was too much business being delegated in the wrong direction when it comes to trying to get these two fighters together, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, at this point in time? It should be around the perfect time, right? You know what I'm saying?
It's a perfect time. It's a perfect time from a sport standpoint.
Okay.
It's a perfect time from a sports standpoint. But it's not a perfect time from a business standpoint.
And why is that? Because you mentioned that the first time when you came on here.
Because of the simple fact is, it's money. Why? Okay, you got two different entities that's making money off of these kids. You got two different entities that these cats making money with. Al Heyman got his own faction. Why would I let you eat when I can keep my money in-house? I'm not going outside my house to feed you. What? What we gonna prove with that?
Then why spend my time on it so much? You know, if it was so-called back in June that they was negotiating, why waste time? What was the purpose of him wasting time if that was the case? You know, back in June all the way up to now, only to find out that the shit's in the media, that the fight's not going to be made because of all these damn obstacles and restrictions that was placed on the contract.
Because guess what? If I call attention, listen, if I can call attention and not make my fighter look bad, that's what I'm going to do. By any means necessary. You feel me?
Yeah. Okay.
That was a business move. Hey, I can't make my top cash cow look like a coward, or I can't make him look like he's full of shit, because I still got to get y'all to buy tickets to these other fights that I want to put him in. So I'm going to divert the attention and say it's a business move, meaning Terrence Crawford won't take the money that I'm offering him. I done talked to him 4 or 5 times. So you divert the attention off of me and you bring it back to what it really is. At this time, we don't want to fight you, Terrence, because it's not lucrative enough. It just ain't. Not this time. It's not lucrative enough.
What do you think both of these fighters are worth if you was the one that was in charge of putting them together and making this fight happen? You know what I'm saying, in Vegas. What would be a proper negotiation amount for them to step in the ring?
It's 2 ways you can do it. You could do it 50-50, or you could do it 60-40. If you do it 60-40, you still got to be respectable to Terrence Crawford because of what he done in his career. You still can't piss on him. Yeah. You still can't piss on him. You still got to respect him.
But that seems like what we was witnessing. You feel me? It seems like that's exactly what we was witnessing. That
you still got to respect him.
Yeah, they was trying to, bring him in extremely low, like motherfucking 70-30 or something like that. And he was trying to freaking negotiate a little bit higher than that.
I'll be back in a second, bro.
Okay.
No, I was talking to Nada. I'm getting my pair of my joggers who's dead. Hello?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's what you're saying is valuable, but you can't tell a man you're gonna give him 30% of that. Then you want him to take the net. Like I say, people need to understand one thing. Everybody that work a job and everybody that done dealt with money got common sense. You know damn well everybody want the gross of their check, not the net of their check.
Yeah.
That's common sense. So why would you come in my face and like people have to understand boxing terms? If I say I want you to fight me for the net, I'm basically telling you you're gonna get a flat rate. Meaning you ain't getting nothing off of pay-per-view. You're not getting nothing off of merchandising. Your face and all that, you gonna forfeit everything. You're gonna take this basic check at the net. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people gotta understand.
How did you feel about him requesting to see the books? Do you believe he had a right that was justified for Terrence Crawford to say, hey, I want to check and see what's being paid to what? Since you're saying I'm getting the net, I want to see where the money's going.
Exactly. He got a right to do that. Because one, the reason why I want to check the books is to make sure y'all ain't gonna play me. And the reason why I want to check the book is to see if this deal upside down. Hello? That's why I want to do that.
I feel you on that.
I mean, that's why I want to do it, because I want to make sure you ain't gonna play me. But think about it. Once he signed a contract and once the negotiations done, he stuck with whatever they're gonna give. He stuck with it. He stuck with that. So we're gonna live with everybody else getting rich, but you going home poor mouth. We're gonna deal with that.
I feel you, man. I mean, it's a lot of business. It's a lot of business areas that you've been a part of in the sport that you hear what's going on, you know. But out here in the way we look at it from the outside looking in, you know, just a lot of stuff that don't make sense. So we can speculate. We can say, well, you know, Terrence Crawford deserves more than 35%. But then you look at it like, well, you said it wasn't a lucrative fight. And that kind of went over people's head and what you was talking about, but it came out to be absolutely right, because the money isn't right over there. The money isn't right. You know what I'm saying? They don't see it as one of those fights that they're going to make their money back on. And then it's not an in-house fight like you said.
No. Because think about it. Rolly ain't had no business fighting Tank. But he got that fight because he had the right promoter. Let's just put it out there. Like, people have to really understand that when we as executives in boxing make statements, we making true statements. Because one, Mayweather and Pacquiao would have not been lucrative in 99 or 2004. It wouldn't have been lucrative. It wouldn't have been. Because you got to think about it. They was on two different sides of the street. You had Al Heyman and Tom Brown, Bob Arum, and Brad Goodman. That's what you had. The Batman and Robin over there, Batman and Robin over there. So, hey, we can't make this happen because Bob was simply saying, Floyd, you done made him a star. But Manny, I'm still building him. So I ain't willing to put my dog in the fight right now. But when it came back to him, because people have to understand one thing. Fighters, okay, if you think Earl Spence, let's just put some numbers out there hypothetically. And let's just clear the air. And I'm just making a prognosis. This is not a fact. I ain't looked at no contracts. I'm just stating the fact. That's my disclaimer for this. Think about it. If you're giving Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford $25 million a piece, what did the promoter make? What did he make?
Good question.
Yeah. See, people want to talk about what they're hearing, but they ain't talking about the business of boxing. The business of boxing is, okay, if the fighter made $25 million, what the manager and the promoter made off the fight. Because remember, the promoter and the manager is the financiers, and they got to eat too now. You feel me?
And what's a reasonable percentage where you talking about managers on that level they make? What they pulling? What they pulling from
legally? 33 1/3. Legally,
okay.
33 1/3.
All right.
because you got 100%, but you got to break 100% down for 3 people. You got to break it down for 3 people. Everybody get a piece of the pie. The manager, the promoter, and the fighter. They got to break the pie down. So people need to understand boxers not asking you for all this ridiculous money because they know they got other people, got family they got to feed. That's what they know. So if I'm going to get in the ring and risk my life, you're damn right I want 25 million. And you better not get funked because I might ask for 30. If it's really like that. That's why you got advisors. That's why you got advisors. That's why you have people that advise. That's why you got lawyers. See, this ain't between Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence right now. This is between the PBC and whoever is guiding Terrence Crawford. They the ones that talking. The fighters don't even know but what was said at the table to get brought back to them. Because the fighter ain't sitting to no table negotiating no fight.
I think on one side of the street, you do have a person like Al Heyman is going to be very vocal, and he's in charge of everything. Whereas Crawford, he's separated from Bob Arum. You know, he's pretty much has his manager, his attorneys, and everything else. So don't you think he might be much more involved in that negotiation process?
No, he ain't gonna come to the table.
Huh?
He ain't gonna come to the table because he can't come to the table. Because
no, I'm talking about not the table, but he may be a bit closer than Errol Spence, who may be quite distanced from all that talk. You know, because
he can sit to the table. He can sit to the table, but he can't negotiate a deal because he'll be violating the federal law. He can't speak on his behalf. You gotta have representation.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, by law, a fighter can't negotiate a deal because that violates Muhammad Ali Act. You can't have a fighter negotiate a deal because you're going to be considered a manager. You can't fight and promote, and you can't fight and manage. You can't. That's against the law. So he can be present, but he can't be a part. He can say no, but he can't be a part of those negotiations because he have legal representation. That's why he got legal representation. A fighter cannot speak on their behalf. They can't. You violating all kind of federal laws. That's why that act is in place. That's why that Muhammad Ali Act is in place, because of stuff like this. Now, if you is a fighter, you independent, like a promoter from the other side can't even have a remote conversation with you because he'll be violating the law.
So for the people that's listening, how would they communicate with that fighter who's independent? He will have to hire who?
They can directly communicate with the fighter that's independent because the fighter don't have legal representation. But if he have legal representation, you can't speak to him directly. You gotta speak to him third person.
Got you.
Because it's a law on the books for everybody who want to know the business of boxing. It's called malicious tampering. That's what it's called. The legal term is called malicious tampering. That's what it's called. And it's punishable by jail and some probation. If you talk to another person fighter and they have papers and they have license in any commission, it's called malicious tampering. You can go to jail for that shit.
Let me ask you this question. You know, thinking, you know, talking about malicious tampering. You heard the recent news that, you know, Terrence has put it out there that he was freaking in negotiation process from June to now, and all of a sudden, you know, they're insinuating that he may potentially get paid $10 million for fighting a guy in David Avanesian, who's taking a fight in November and turning right back around on a short leash and stepping in there with an elite fighter like Terrence Bud Crawford. And this is supposed to be on a streaming service that hasn't put on a fight of this magnitude ever. So therefore, you know, the pay-per-view is supposed to be like $39.95.
Yeah.
Do you see the people tuned in to buy that, knowing that he's fighting a guy that's on short notice, and also being that the pay-per-view is $39.95? Are the people going to really say, okay, let me reach in my pockets and pay that? It ain't that bad.
Nope.
Incoming call. Press the pickup button to answer.
No. You heard?
Yeah. You can drop off if if you guys
No,
take a
man.
phone call, you
No, we good. It's just people. I can call them people back, man. That's business. I call them back. But no, I don't see that happening. The reason why I don't see that happening, we got any facts to prove that. We don't. One, then okay, with the type of level of boxing that they own, that only happens down at the lower level, bro. So if he fight, he get cut. How they gonna fight if he taking a fight? They're less than 30 days away from each other. Really. So if he get a cut, so they're gonna postpone that fight? No, I don't see that earthly possible because that's too close. That's too close for any commission to approve and to fight somebody. And then what state we gonna fight in? It's different laws. The law vary from state to state.
the fight gonna be in his Terrence Crawford backyard, Omaha, Nebraska.
Still fight. The rules of fighting, according to the Association of Boxing Commission, every state laws vary from state to state. Like Las Vegas, you can fight within a 14-day window. In Georgia, you can fight every 7 days without injury or cut. South Carolina, you fight every 7 days. New York is 14 to 30 business days you can fight.
What's North Carolina? Because I know they one of the strictest, right?
Who?
North Carolina. They
They
open
ain't
back
even
up
about
yet?
the commission of North Carolina.
Oh, okay, they still shut down. I got it.
Yeah, shut down. Like your cricket states, the box in and they buy the book. New York, Pennsylvania, Las Vegas, California. Them your cricket commissions right there. And the Macawobi tribe that's up in New Jersey and up north. Them your hardest boxing commissions right there. Because they buy the book.
Got it.
Them
And
the hardest
I don't want to keep you on here too long, OG, man. I just want you to come on temporary and chop it up, man, because you know what it is. I don't want to keep you on too long. Asking you all these questions about common topics. You know what I'm saying? With the media shit that goes on.
man. We here to clear the air because a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. Because it's illegal. Like if they want to see Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence fight, that might be a court case. That's the way they might get them fight go to court. And a lot of people don't understand that part.
Well, if they was to go to someone like a court case to try to, get someone to fight you or whatever, will the purse still be negotiated with the promoter or the manager outside the court case if that fight is approved for them to fight one another?
Yeah, you're gonna go back to the same thing, but only thing a judge gonna do is make the fight happen legally. Meaning, litigation can be put up against you to make you fight somebody.
Okay. Hey, let me chop it up with you later, man. Appreciate you pulling up as always. It's a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? And we shall chop it up again, man.
You will.
Salute to you, OG. I'm out.
Salute.
Hey, check this out, right? Listen, when you have individuals like that, right? They know about the business aspect of boxing. They're not media. So Mark Nash, if they get something wrong about fights or, history that we do on a regular basis, they're not on here talking like that. They're more so behind the scenes negotiating deals and stuff like that. So they just use an example. Y'all have to understand that if someone misspeak on something like we misspeak on something, right? We may misspeak on something too. But when we misspeak, we've held more of accountable because we talk about it on a regularity. But these cats don't. They more so involved in brushing elbows with people behind the scene and doing deals and getting fighters, on the fight card, getting purses arranged and setting up shit like that. So they're not really boxing historians like we are. But on the business part of it, they know a lot. If you're talking about the business aspect behind the scenes, they know a plethora of information. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what the vibe is when it comes to people like that. What's going on, Don Dada? They're not here to get every round right for that particular fighter. You know what I'm saying? He was just basically giving an example of if we had that type of fighter or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we already know what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? We already know what it is, man. If it's us, then yeah, we hold each other accountable. No, you're wrong on that. It should be this right here, this, that, and the other. But those guys are not on media. They're not on YouTube like that. You ain't gonna find that guy on YouTube like that, man. We should be able to use the commission here in North Carolina next year. They were saying this time year, but I think there was a holdup. I'll tell you what the holdup was. They don't have no freaking faith in a lot of shit that was going on when I was on them streets. There's a lot of shit that was going on over there in North Carolina Commission, man. They felt the need to shut that shit down, period. And that's a whole nother story that I choose not to get involved with. For real. It's all good, man. It's all good. I feel I don't want to get involved in that shit. But back to the task at hand. I pretty much just wanted to, you know, make it a point to identify, you know, to clear it up. So I see little to none of these lives is going up and people still out here clueless and in denial. You know what I'm saying? When this shit dropped with boxing scene, Errol Spence put this out. You know what I'm saying? He want to talk about weight. He want to talk about weight all of a sudden. And then he won't even say the name, but he's talking about somebody's been stalling. So just this dude said nigga, right? But if you listen to the lives that's here, they're saying that he was talking about freaking Bud. We can assume that he was talking about Bud. We don't know if he was talking about Bud. We don't know if he was talking about anybody else, man. He could have been subliminally talking about Al Heyman. But look, they ain't going to believe me by saying some shit like that because they say, nah, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Al Heyman working with him, man. He ain't going to put Al out there. He's cool if he don't mention Al's name. He can be frustrated. Look, Errol Spence can be frustrated, dog. I'm just growing out on a limb. He could be frustrated. He could say, man, nigga been stalling for months. I could have fought in November. You think boxers don't mention certain business situations that they're in and they have to go through? Yeah, hell yeah, they mention that shit. They ain't gonna do it directly. If you heard that if you talk a certain way about Al Heyman, it's penalties and repercussions. You know what I'm saying? You just can't sit up there and talk about that man like that. So you think Spencer's gonna go over here and put a name on it? No. He's just gonna say nigga been stalling for months. I could have fought in November. He didn't say we could have fought in November. You see how I break this shit down? He didn't say we could have fought in November. He said I could have fought in November. So if I was in some type of educational setting and we was really being petty, I would say, well, if someone's holding me up from fighting and he's talking specifically himself, I, as in the first person, that would make it seem like it's somebody on my team. Somebody's preventing me from fighting because Errol Spence said I. He didn't say we. He said I, man. It takes two people to fight. Nigga been stalling for months. I could have fought in November. He didn't say we. He said I, goddammit. And then that's when Trayvon responded with this shit right here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's goddamn unloading. Trayvon said, so Errol Spence, you going to sit here and lie to these fans like you ain't the one holding up the fight. It's sad. You using the weight shit as an excuse to move up to get away. That's all you doing. Stop the capping shit. Because at some point, the real gonna come out. Everybody's getting in on this shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still back to this right here. For those of you that's in the chat, can you do me a favor, right? A special favor. Because I truly don't know. I'm being honest. But reading this right here, can y'all do me a favor? Can you tell me where y'all got 10? No, I need a link. I need some verification. They said 10 million. Mike Carpenter said 8-figure. People ran with 10, 10, 10. How do we know it's exactly 10? And if it's 10, he said 8-figure. He did put WILL on there, will. So he's confirming that that's what it's going to be. He will earn a career high 8-figure payday, which is great. But have we read that on any other platform, mainstream media platform, that it's going to be $10+ million? All I need to know for my verification, I just want to know for my own and your education, have anyone seen this out on another platform that is going to be 10 million? What's going on? Ill Status Boxing on deck. Do we know? So if no one can produce a link that has 10 million, why are we so comfortable with assuming that that's the number? And if that indeed is the number that you're going with, if we sit up here and scrutinize all the other pay-per-view numbers and what the fight fans not going to pay for this, what they ain't going to pay for that, this, that, and the other, what brings the fight fans to the seats in this particular fight? Outside of Terrence Bud Crawford. I'm just curious. Somebody help me out. What brings him to the seat? Because see, David Avanesian on his box rec, he's scheduled to fight Crawford. You feel me? He's scheduled. But on Crawford's box rec, the schedule's not out there. He ain't scheduled to fight David. But if you look on David's, Crawford's scheduled. You know what I'm saying? He's scheduled. Go look it up. The Nebraska Athletic Commission, December 10th, 2022. WBO Welterweight World Championship. This is for the belt. This is for the grand finale in the main event. We don't know what's going to happen after that. You know, Crawford saying he'll come back, you know, after he go over here and dust off freaking David. Then he'll come back and fight Arrow. Because it seems like Jermell Charlo don't want no smoke with him. So he's saying, I'll come back over the welterweight and dust him up. I dust David, and I come in here and dust Arrow and leave no doubt. Big Blunts on deck. How you feeling, brother?
All is well. How you feeling, Unc?
What now?
Said all is well. How you?
I'm good. You going in and out, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm driving right now. You know what I'm saying? So I might be bouncing off some cell towers or something like that.
Okay. Let me read what Il Status say. It's an easy access fight. It's in Omaha, Nebraska. Cheap flight, cheap tickets. The win-win for me. I understand that. I agree with you, bro. I agree with it. And look, I'm happy that he's away from that negotiation with PBC. I am. But I'm saying for the collective audience and the individuals who's putting on the fight, how do they get their money back? How do they pique the interest of the boxing fans? Even if the pay-per-view is $39.95, we've been led alone for quite some time on this excursion that we was going to get Crawford Spence. Now that that's not happening, will the fight fans be motivated enough to spend $39.95? Go ahead and say what you was going to say there, Blunt. What's your take on that, man?
Well, what you're saying right there, and I'll put mic volume up here in a second. But from what I've heard today, and I've been in a few different places.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these people, a lot of these both Bud fans and Spence fans, they not too happy. They not motivated to want to participate in watching or buying this upcoming fight from Bud. They just feel like they've been played with. They, you know, why you playing with my emotions, Smokey? You know what I'm saying? They played with. So, I mean, you know, I heard some people saying, you know, you a Bud fan, you gonna definitely watch him fight. You gonna want to see how he look. And I'm hearing people like, nah, man, I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't it. I don't know. How do you feel? I mean, you gonna watch it, or you gonna fly out, or you gonna? I mean, what's going on? What do you think? I mean, I know what you kind of think, but you know.
I move in silence. I'm definitely gonna try to support it the best way I know how, man. Real talk. Absolutely. You know, I definitely, you know, if I can be on site, or you know, I definitely gonna show up and try to support the champ. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, the whole thing to me is just it's confusing, man. Everything it's just confusing. You know, I get everybody's side. You know, I hear the people saying, you know, I hear what Bud saying, of course, about how, you know, they was dragging their asses and all that. But then I hear the side about, you know, how could you be, if you want this fight, you should be solely focused on this fight. And you know, I checked David's Twitter, and you know, he had word. I'm sure late September, early October that he had dates coming up. You know, whether Terrence Crawford was, you know, we see he got the one for November 19th, but
who?
You know,
You going in and out, bro? Like who you saying had the dates?
David.
Yeah.
He knew about these dates, you know, well before we found out. You know
Correct. Yeah.
And I don't know, man. And then seeing that David's fighting on November 19th, some dude we don't really know about. But then to think back about how November 19th was like this big ass date, you know, shit. I don't know, man. That shit doesn't seem like a coincidence to me. And like I heard KQKC say today, somebody's lying, man. Somewhere, some way, somehow, somebody's lying. And I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I'm baffled. I'm irritated by Cheyenne, and I'm baffled at the situation, man.
You irritated by who?
By Cheyenne. I'm irritated by Cheyenne, motherfucking ass.
Okay. I don't know what that means. You got to be specific. You know how that go.
Shit, what you mean? I mean, we talking about Cheyenne shit. Cheyenne capping ass, getting on the internet, playing like, you know, he got some kind of involvement and shit. No documentation, no proof, no pictures from the fucking 7-Eleven. You know, just sitting up there. I mean, to jump on your, look, he gonna do what he wanna do, you know, but to get up there, your shades on, like you this fucking magic man and making shit happen. And like I said, I saw people in his chat that when he jumped on there talking about some, I don't believe you. I went to other channels and they like, Blue been flip-flopping lately. Then you got everybody talking about he making shit happen. It's like, man, he ain't doing shit. Like, we know he ain't doing shit. He didn't know shit. That shit is irritating, man.
I can tell you somebody's making shit happen. Much more than he is, for a fact. And this is a person that, you know, he tried to front on. Shaw News is making shit happen in boxing on the real, you know, on a way different level than he is. And you know, shit, he don't have to prove. He's there. You know, he's on site. But when it comes to so-called partially or being involved with brokering a $10 million deal, it's not something that, you know, the boxing, the stoops, the fanatics, the hardcore fight fans are going to sit up here and co-sign on until you show us some docs. Show us some docs, man. Show us some proof for conversation. Show us something, man. All this storytelling bullshit, we don't want to hear that no more. We need some proof. We need some evidence.
Exactly. All this storytelling, that's all it is storytelling bullshit. He's sitting up there, when are y'all going to believe me? When are y'all going to believe me? I told you, right? I told you, right? So when are y'all going to believe me? Like, come on, man. And then you got, I'm saying, his moderators and all kind of shit in his chat. We don't believe you. Pop, what you know? Because I know you was over there. What you know? What you think?
I thought he was set tripping. I ain't sugarcoating nothing else, man. Like, I know, you know, combat don't let you, you know, you don't get no clout on his channel, but he's set tripping.
People don't know what set tripping is. You have to be, you know,
you may be more specific.
You have to be more specific when it comes to boxing. When we're talking about the topic, because people don't know what that means.
He going against the grain of his coat. You ain't supposed to praise Bud. You ain't supposed to praise Bud.
So with you saying he's going against the grain against the pro Spence fanatics?
Yeah, the Spence Mikes, the Spence Holics.
So it may be a rift going in there in between them because he chose to, you know, return back to the side that he betrayed in the first place, and we all know he betrayed that shit.
And it's not you just not gonna be accepted over here, good buddy. In the words of my man, the Snowman from Smokey and the Bandit, you just ain't gonna be accepted over here, good buddy.
I think maybe that's why it's bothering me and irritating me so much is because, like, you know, we know, you know what I'm saying? I know what it was at first. We know, like, if you paid attention, you know what he was at first. He was a Bud fan. And then he did all that talking. He did all that advocating for Spence. And now he's trying to sit up here and pump fake like he has something to do with making this shit happen with the BLK Prime shit. But the whole time it's like, not only did you switch on, dude, but you trying to come back. It's like, bro, once you get kicked out the game, once you leave the set, it ain't no coming back to the set. You understand what I'm like? That's all it is. He's trying to come back to the set. And the majority of the people don't understand. They not realizing it. But like I said, there's some people who was in his own chat telling them they don't believe his ass. They was in other places talking about he flip flopping. As of late, he's been flip flopping. I seen this shit, man. I seen these same people, but then you got people calling Coach show, like, yeah, Coach, Blue Blood's been really hustling, man. He's making shit happen. This BLK Prime shit is really real. Man, come on, dog. Like, what kind of nigga even does that? Sit up here and try to fake like you the head honcho or some shit. What kind of nigga sits up and makes up stories that you was at this location and this happened and it never fucking happened? That shit is buster shit. That's buster shit. And that shit just irritates me because I don't understand why niggas don't keep it real. I pride myself real across the board. I don't give a fuck who you are. You could be Jesus. I don't give a fuck what it is. Man, listen. I'm gonna tell it like it is. You understand what I'm saying? And that shit is just, people don't see it. He keep doing it. It just adds to the level of frustration.
I mean, Bless, it could be a plethora of things. It could be that like before you like really start, you know what I'm saying, pulling up like that, or was even had your channel and was fucking with it. And we've been saying for a while now that PBC running out of money. He couldn't know that. He couldn't know that, you know, I mean, he couldn't know that the narrative that he's been trying to push, the Jim Jones Kool-Aid that he's been trying to give everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't drinking it no more. Or he don't need them anymore. That's what it's looking like with his new partnership. It could be a lot of things.
Man, and speaking of that, PBC running out of money and shit, man, see, that's why I didn't really hear you know, touch on as much of what Rick Glacier said in Coach Show today, because I feel once Rick started talking about, you know, what's going on with Showtime and how CBS on Paramount and the young people at Paramount, you know, I wanted to hear your thoughts on all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, would you give somebody else? I mean, would you give a man more money that squandered the money?
Listen, I was in the Twitter spaces today. Stephen Espinosa said it's been times where, you know, they had to pay a person a little bit more than what they would have liked to pay them to get a fight done. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it go like that, and that's what I was telling Unc earlier. It was like I got some shit I'm gonna put in your email because I was recording the Twitter spaces. They was in there giving a Q&A to motherfucking Stephen Espinosa. Some YouTube channels was in there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say too many names, but it was a few YouTube channels in there. But I don't know if this shit sit from my phone, so I'm gonna probably upload it to YouTube and then send you the link, put it on private. But so where only you can see it if you got the link and shit.
Yeah.
Let you run that down. But you know, Rick was dropping a lot of shit when he started talking about the CBS and the Paramount switch, and if Steven gonna have a job from next year, if they gonna boxing over to Paramount, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know, dog. I don't know the whole shit.
That's not. You know, that's good news. I mean, how shall I word it? Like the process for which they've been going through over there. It's been on record for quite some time that there was monetary issues, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? There was monetary issues. So it was even said that, I mean, this was months ago, that they may rebrand themselves. You know, don't forget about that term. They may rebrand themselves with everything in light of what's really going on. Now you think about what Rick said about Paramount and that Showtime going to be disbanded and all that. Just pay attention to what he said, because it's been on record months ago that it may be a rebranding going on with PBC. You know what I'm saying? So if Espinosa is verifying that they may have to overpay some fighters or whatever to make the deal work, then obviously they wasn't making that money back, because the rich people, it's nothing to them to invest money. You know, they write that shit off. They invest money in the business or whatever the case may be. Because isn't PBC a LLC, right? It's an LLC, yep. Right? Okay, so, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that invested, and they might have been promised certain returns, and they ain't getting them, so them people ain't willing to do business with them anymore.
Bless, you know they got 900 million when they first started out, right?
we know about all that, and you know how that
So
all was squandered in about two
squandered.
years
Like I'm
and
not
all
about to
that.
give you no like, bro. You got that money in the beginning. You didn't lock down a 10-year, or at least like you didn't lock down a multi-year deal with no network that can outsource these 200 to 300 boxers that you have. As a matter of fact, bro, you need to have a few networks. That's why we gave you all this damn money.
Hey, but look, yeah, I mean, listen, the don't you think? I mean, well, I wouldn't know, but I would think that that well started to run dry when they was, you know, people probably was doing most of the investing during the Floyd time, and that shit kind of soaked it up. Now it seems like the zone got the Saudi Arabians over there doing kind of what, you know, kind of what PBC need right now. You know what I'm saying? The zone getting all that invested in them from the motherfucking Middle East and shit. So go ahead.
When Big Dog was talking about rebranding means I'm taking your shit and I'm gonna show you how you're supposed to do it. You're out of a job. Or you may just be, I mean, there's no need to keep Al around. He's only a name. It's not like he's a face, like people come to see him.
Well,
Like,
they ain't running out nowhere. If that's what you're saying, they ain't
but
running.
no, I'm just saying, like what we're gonna do is you're not gonna have the range that you had before.
Who's gonna tell him that? Because he pretty much run everything over there. Who gonna tell him?
I'm not talking about the guys that he worked. I'm talking about like the networks.
So if they're gonna say that, Al, you're not gonna have the range that you did before.
Yeah, you can't keep giving us these. You can't keep giving us these sound. You know what I'm saying? These sound pizza fights.
So who they gonna appoint to have a say so in making those decisions if it's not Al Heyman? Who
I don't know.
Who
I
are
don't
they
know.
gonna appoint?
To me, it looked like
Al Heyman.
To me, it looked like if it ain't no Al, if it ain't somebody that they trust can get done what they want done, they may not even fuck with him. Like put your own fight together.
But they need a
BBC big enough brand.
They need a network though.
They do need a network, but you ain't.
Well, HBO will probably come back in on the scene. It's possible.
It's probably. I mean, I've been hearing about that for like the last year too, though. Like it's a rumbling. Like if you know, but who's gonna jump over there first, and then what's like you know that's a whole new structure. Or are they gonna bring in the old guys? They got new guys, like who? But there could be a good one. But from like the rumblings, from what I hear, like the Showtime, they're not happy. But just like you said, a lot of people ain't seeing the residuals back from what they put in. They ain't even getting close. They're not even making their money back. Like I'm not dealing with you. Like you got an app. Put your own fight on.
I feel you.
You know, like you keep giving us watered down entertainment. Like nothing is exciting. I mean, let's be real. This last card was a ooh card, but you had a weaker promotion of it. Like I just don't look at Deontay Wilder. I'm like, you only had a weaker promotion for what a 4 or 5 fight card. It was 5 fight cards on the pay-per-view or 4?
What, Wilder?
Yeah, I didn't buy that one. I watched the Haney and the Shields card that Saturday.
I think it might have been like I'm not sure. I mean, it was several fights on there. You know, I'm
But
not sure.
yeah, I'm just saying like that's a big card. Like man, you got to promote. You got Caleb Plant been a headliner. What since he won the belt back in when he won the belt like 18, 19?
I mean, what we talking about with Wilder though? I mean,
I'm just saying no.
I was more
I'm
so
just
talking
saying,
about
like,
Spence and Crawford situation.
Oh no. I'm not. I'm just talking about like why the PBC as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Like what could it? Because Blunt says he had asked a question. I was just saying it could be a plethora of things why the fight ain't going down. Do they need to go to Saudi Arabia? Do they got the funding? Is it rumblings about, do people want to do business with them? I mean, it's not just, when it comes to the Bud and the Earl shit, man, it was funny to me to just see everybody get mad about it than to worry about the business of it anymore, because I'm not going to hurt. I got enough gray hair when chasing my kids around. I was more intrigued on the reaction of everybody today. I don't know if you watch people. I don't know if you watch everybody like that, work, but it was funny to like roam and just look and just be like, damn, they mad. Like, just like you said, even if it's true, let's say even if it's true and Bud secured an 8-figure deal for his family. Y'all mad at this black man, and everybody's supposed to be so pro-black. It was just so funny.
Well, they're gonna be mad anyway. Anything that has to go on with that situation. We already know that.
Yeah. It was funny to watch their blood pressure go up. Like, they probably got to go to the doctor on Monday. It was just crazy just to see that when people were saying that Bud Crawford had options, he just didn't have to take whatever they were offering him. Like, and like we said, we don't know everything. Nobody knew that this deal that may or may not be real was even on the table. Nobody knew that.
You talking about the specify what you talking about? What deal?
The BLK deal.
Oh, that just popped up not too long ago. So
I don't know if it's real or not.
My only gripe is just how it all came about. And
I know how yours was about, bro. I know what yours was about. Like
the BLK, they haven't put on a fight of this magnitude before.
Yeah, with this caliber fighter, and then not to mention just like when I look, like I had just done this. I had just like finished my live and jumped off and was like, let me see what's roaming around. Went to Roman and I clicked on homie's page. He's sitting there with his hat on and his shades on in his house. I was just laughing. I was like, yo, I don't even know what's going on yet. So, you got to wait a good 15 minutes before he start talking because, you got to wipe your feet before you come in his house. So I clicked over to somewhere else and I seen a couple dudes just going off, like yelling, sweating. I was like, yo, what the hell going on? And then I started doing a little research. I'm like, man, they mad. And like, this don't make no sense for you to be this mad over a man getting a bag. Like, if it's true, getting the bag. Like, you're more upset that he went and got this bag without Earl and showed you his actual worth without Earl Spence.
But if he can't get it with him, get it without him. I always been on record saying he didn't need him to move forward towards his legacy. He don't need. He definitely don't.
He definitely don't world combat.
Spencer need Crawford. Spencer need Crawford more than anything. So if they're not willing, if PBC's unwilling to make the money match up nicely for these fighters to fight, then move on to somebody like David Avanesian and get that bag, because we all know Canelo has gotten paid for fighters who doesn't live up to the expectations of the fans.
The fans don't even know him. Some of the fans don't even know him.
The fans know what David is. They
no, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about some of the fighters that Canelo fought. You was like, who? Who is that guy? But I never thought that Bud needed him. I just thought that Bud was like, I'm gonna agree to all these terms just to whip his ass and prove to everybody. And then when they couldn't grant him one request, it was like, why would I sit over here and be clowned by my own people supposedly, and not go over here and get this $10 million? Well, I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop saying that. This 8-figure deal. At the minimum, if it's 8 figures, $10 million. That's more than any fighter this day other than you say Johnson, Wilder, um, Canelo, and Pacquiao that was lurking around making that money. Ain't nobody else making $10 million a fight at the minimum.
Yeah,
You
that'll
know,
be good money if it's true. It'll be good
if it's
money if it's
true.
true.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made sure that I said if allegedly, if so, you know what I'm saying? But if it is, why are you so mad? And you don't even know. Like, I was watching them, like, yeah, like you don't, like, somebody put something in the chat and they was like, man, I don't even know the whole, you know, thing about or whatever. But you were so mad that he not fighting Earl, but he got the bag.
Well, it appears that way.
Appears.
We don't
But
know
no,
if they're
I'm
gonna be able
saying,
to hold tight in
I know,
that
I'm not even saying about
negotiation
me. I'm saying
process,
that's
man.
what they was thinking. Like, I'm coming from their perspective. They just was so mad that you know, I'm not gonna say his name, but they were just so mad that their information said he's over here, he's getting this amount. They were so mad that they didn't even check, because like I said, he was mad for 15 minutes and then he was like, man, I don't even know what the website is or whatever. I'm just saying. That's when I almost fell out my chair and just, you know what I'm saying, got up out of there and was just like, oh man, this shit right here is different. You that mad at that man. You despise that man that bad. Or excuse my language, you nut hugging the other fighter Earl that much that you was upset that that black man, if you so pro-black, like all these guys hold their fist up real tight, like they're the Olympics wearing all black, you mad that he got the bag. Allegedly.
Well, we just wait and see, man. My whole thing was, I'm not mad that he getting the bag at all. My point was mentioning that when people try to insert themselves into a deal that they don't have the experience, they don't have the education, and they have not been a part. For
Of
us,
anything like
they
that.
they haven't been a part of a business deal of that magnitude to sit up here and try to convince the YTC that all of a sudden they're elevating. You're not elevating. You're not doing anything outside of what you already been doing. You're not responsible for brokering any freaking deal of that magnitude. You know what goes into a process like that? The money ain't coming. That's your business partner. What money are you putting into it? What investors that you have to that you are influencing to come on here and invest that money? 10 million? That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. So that means it's about 25 million invested into the fight.
Man, why his bitch ass won't just come out and be honest? What's so hard about being honest? That nigga need to go back to Real Nigga Academy. You
He
understand
still
what I'm
can't be
saying?
honest, because he
What is he
ain't
so scared of? What
he
is
ain't
he?
completely set trip yet all the way. But he set tripping. He doing
He
he
set
pulling
trip
an
when
Agent
he
Smith.
set trip when he said Spence was gonna win the fight. The moment he said Spence was gonna win the fight, you set trip, but you got kicked off. God damn it, you set trip.
He
That's
trying
it.
to get back on the ship, man. He's swimming with the boat. It don't even matter how. Apparently, he a fast swimmer. He Michael Phelps. He can keep up with the boat, bro.
I'm gonna drown his ass. Keep on, I'm gonna
Hey,
drown his ass.
hey, Pop, I'll talk to you. I want to chop it up with blunts right quick, man.
All right,
Appreciate you pulling up, bro.
yeah.
All right. Hey, let me ask you this, the blunt.
Yeah.
Everything you heard, like has been going on. I know you've been dropping information here and there, but what you think about the entire process with this mega deal? Do you believe in your heart of hearts, man, that it's gonna hold down, it's stable, that a fighter that's gonna have a 21-day turnaround. The BLK is going to be able to supply a $10 million tag. You know, a $10 million tag, and pay Avanesian, and you know what I'm saying, and get the pay-per-view money. It seems like it's going to be a loss all the way around. I don't know.
Well, from what I heard, what Rick said earlier on Coach Show, I guess the app is worldwide. He said it's worldwide, so that's that. I guess they're their own distributor, so that's that.
Mm-hmm.
They
Let's see.
he said, shit, what else did he say? And not having to pay David as much. There's that. So you know, from what I heard from Rick today, it's very lucrative and I guess very possible that Terrence could make this 8-figure payday. But what I was gonna say before that, what I was gonna say earlier was, you know, I go back to when
You there? You went out, bro.
yeah, can you hear me? My bad.
Yeah.
So
I can hear you.
I go back to when you said that Gary Russell, you know, there was some history between him and Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Gary punched on Terrence and claimed he broke his jaw and all this extra shit, but you know, in essence, there was some tension there. Maybe a bit of bias due to that tension. But today, Coach asked Rick, you know, the history between Rick and Al. And Rick mentioned, you know, immediately Rick mentioned, you know, something happened in the past. Al never apologized. Rick was right. Al was wrong multiple times. He never got an apology, X, Y, and Z. You know, and I see how hard Rick goes in on Al. You know, I don't know.
Very much so.
Very much so. I don't know if that stems from whatever past dealings they had in the past. Would Rick not go so hard if Al did say sorry and they did rectify their issues? You know, I kind of wonder if his, you know, if that stems from that. You know what I mean? But regardless, as far as this, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But as far as all, you know, this mega deal and how it plays out, you know, of course, you know, make your money, man. Get your money. You got kids to feed at the end. You got bills to pay. You got kids to feed. Your kids are athletic as well. I'm sure you want to fund their career. You need some kind. Hey, look, I'm all for it. You know, if it pays them, it pays them. As far as the turnaround for David, I think that's crazy. I was listening close to what your OG was saying when you had him on about how, you know, if there's no cuts, no injuries. I mean, what happens if there is, you know, a headbutt of some sort or some major cut or an injury or something
you know how the orders work. So if they want him to be a dance partner with Crawford, he's gonna make it to the fight. That dude never had a fight outside of Spain, so he's gonna go in there and fight Juan Miguez or whatever,
right?
17-0, never had a fight outside, so he's gonna go in there and he probably gets stopped early. But if I'm looking at it that way, he's gonna make it into that fight unscathed, and then he's gonna take that whooping from Crawford, and it's gonna be out. You know, it's gonna be on to the next. We may start to talk about, okay, because this is gonna be a short turnaround now. We're talking about from October, November, boom, December. That's short turnaround for this fight to fall out. So we don't know what's going on with Errol Spence just yet on who he's gonna fight next, if anybody. That's gonna be a short turnaround for people to start picking up this conversation again and say, you know what? Let's see what happens now. Crawford, he's 39-0. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
30 knockouts, whatever.
Well, I saw, not to cut you off, but I saw Boxing Gyms, you know, once he got the news, he made the comment that David would possibly cancel the November 19th bout with Dude to make this fight with Bud happen. Which could very well be a possibility. And if it is, I think, you know, I mean, I still don't know what to think. I sent you the video earlier coming up from YSM and Bozy Ennis's gym and all that, how they was
Yeah.
talking about Bud's fighting the dude that got stopped by the dude he stopped, and
Yeah, Igis Kavalauskas, man.
yeah, and he
I mean,
did,
that don't mean anything. I mean,
but then Rick brought up earlier today about how Terrence has only fought B-side fighters, and the only like A-side from PBC was Porter, and essentially that Al was, if the fight goes on and Bud beats Spence, Al's fucked, because if Showtime, and because Rick basically said he's gonna lose Fox, Al's gonna lose Fox, and then Showtime's gonna go through that transition with the Paramount and all that shit.
Yeah, I heard that. Mm-hmm.
So if Bud goes over there and beats Spence, Al has nothing to go to another network with and say, hey, I got this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. So
I mean, they're not wrong.
Right. So I mean, it's like, man, this shit, I just man, I don't know, man. I mean, it's
boxing. That's what I was
the
trying
hocus
to tell
pocus.
you.
The hocus pocus in boxing.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. Boxing is, I'm telling you, that it's the worst Halloween that's annual, dog. It's the worst Halloween that becomes annual when it comes to boxing. It's just a lot of scary shit that happens in boxing. A lot of shit behind the scenes people don't know. And, I mean, it has a lot of branches that bear fruit in boxing that people can eat from. But, man, you just don't know the half of what's going on in this sport. No president. They don't have no president. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no single governing body, someone to rule on certain things is going on. I mean, it's no structure. It's not even regulated, bro.
Do you feel like when both fighters were doing their jaw jacking via Twitter, when Bud was posting gifts in response, the little memes or whatever in response to Spence speaking on Keyshawn and all that? I mean, if Bud told these guys he was gonna fight in November, what do you feel about him not addressing that to his fans or his people? I mean, if he knew he had other plans, if he knew, his fans weren't gonna get, he goes on Sean Porter's.
Who said he knew? We don't know the time frame for which he, severed. Trying to negotiate this. We don't know. Like I mentioned earlier, we don't know what they sent him that he had to revise, send back to him. How long it took for when him sending that back, and then over there at PBC, they looked at it and they sent the revisions back. How long did they have it? What was the details? What was the line for line that we need to be aware of? We don't know any of that. So for him to sever communications and then say, okay, now I'm fighting David, we don't know when that happened. For when you to mention, I heard what you said.
Right.
We don't know when that was, when he was all, staying apart. You know what I'm saying? Being professional. He wanted to keep it out there to the fans. We gonna fight. He probably did believe they was gonna fight. Behind the scenes, he was being professional about it. We gonna fight. We're gonna do this. If it's November, that's what we're gonna do. But all along, it might hit him all at one time and say, man, they've been playing me. You know what I'm saying? They've been playing me. What's going on, bro?
What's up, man?
I'm chilling, man. How you feeling?
Yeah. Good, man. Good. I'm gonna come on real quick, say what's up to you and stuff. Yeah. But nah, man. So how you feel about the move Crawford made though?
What do you mean? What move, dog? Have you not been watching my stream? What move? What move you talking about, Balash? What are you talking about? What move?
I just said the move Crawford made about recently. What you mean?
I'm talking about what move you talking about though? What move he made?
The move to
He
fight.
made recently.
You talking about
Yeah,
David?
Yeah.
I wonder why you're not showing up on the panel. Oh, you are. You got your camera on. That's right. Go ahead, Balash. You said the move he made to fight David.
Yeah, I just want to hear your take. I know you already talked about it. I was just.
Oh, I truly I'm on board with that. If he was getting screwed around, with PBC since June, my point is, if Crawford was up here playing nice in the media, you know what I'm saying, and he was trying to get the fans and say, "Oh, this fight's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen." To me, it feels like genuinely he thought the fight was gonna happen because he really wants to fight. He feels it's gonna happen. But if they were sending contracts back and forth and he was agreeing to everything, and then they put something else in there, then there might have been frustration. He said, "This is pointless for me to stay into this, and it's going nowhere. I'm wasting my fucking time." And then, however, whenever this next fight came up, or this next suggestion, this offer came up to fight David, why not get the bag? Why not get it? You're
Right.
not earning any money staying in negotiations with individuals that's scared to let Errol Spence go in there. They don't have faith that he's going to go in there and win. And just like Blunt's just mentioned, and that was said on Coach's freaking live earlier by Rick, when you look at it in that perspective with him possibly losing his networks, because Spence is a big deal right now. Even in Texas, he's a big deal. If you lose him, then what? If he's no longer the champ, does he have that star power? Nope. He doesn't have that star power no more, man.
Right.
He can lose his belts, Crawford vacate him, and he can fight for him again. I mean, that's an option.
Yeah.
What's your take on it, man?
Shit, like I was saying, man, I think he ain't he not doing, I don't think, anything that give me the side. I just think he's making the right move, what's best for him, being that, I guess they, didn't want him to see the expenses and stuff, you know, on the offer. They would like take it or leave it, and I guess he was getting a guarantee. He wanted to see the books. And he's like, well, they don't want to show that. Well, I'll find something else. But it seemed like, though, I guess they didn't really have much negotiation, because he said that they were just dragging their asses, I guess. And he's like, well, since y'all doing that, I'm just gonna I'm gonna fight this year. And I guess since he did it, I think Arrow and them felt away. And Arrow, this is why we're hearing Arrow, saying like, oh, see, he didn't want the fight, and he's been holding it up. Because I guess they didn't feel like Crawford had a backup plan like that.
Why should he have a backup plan if he's entirely focused on making the biggest fight
Because
in boxing?
Because what we just were talking about, what's just going on. The fight's not
Yeah.
going to happen due to El Heyman, and I guess simply Errol Spence. They couldn't come to an agreement, so this is why he has a backup plan.
Oh yeah, I thought you was
Yeah,
talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see no problem with it though. You know what I'm saying? He got to
Me
get
either.
paid. If boxing is a business, don't expect people that's used to the business, understand the business, not to use other avenues of approach to get paid.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What he doing.
I think it's cool for him to. I mean, Canelo has fought subpar opponents for a big ticket. I mean, so
Exactly.
why not have Crawford sit up here and fight David and then come back and revisit this shit?
Yeah. Why not? And dude don't look like no slouch either, so I mean.
No, he ain't no slouch, man. I seen him fight, man. He ain't no slouch, bro. He's not a
Yeah,
slouch, man.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out and support it.
I mean, it's $39. That's way cheaper than most.
Right? No,
That's
for real. Yeah.
$39.95. God damn it.
Yeah, for real.
I can put that in, give me $1,300 and put that plenty of pay-per-views in the homes and shit.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Man, I'm hearing too is rumors though that Arrow probably gonna fight Keith eventually next year.
If that's the case, that's cool for them because it'd be petty for him not to fight Keith because of the way Keith did him, ignoring him when he was calling him out. But you got to look at it, man. Like, I mean, sometimes you just don't get to come to the front of the line. Some people that's been there and they've earned unified. Everybody go through the process and keep probably looking at him like, man, do some more at welterweight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not interested in fighting you right now. Do some more, get some more names under your belt and all that,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah,
You
that's
just
pretty
want
much
to
what he
come
was
get a
saying.
shot at me.
Yeah, I think yeah, that's what it seemed like what he was saying in his interview was yeah, he just felt like to him he wanted to have a little bit of a build up um, for the fight. He didn't want to fight Arrow right away, and I think he said due to his own detriment that the injuries that he had and stuff kind of prolonged it, obviously, and he
Yeah,
ended up having to drop the belt.
yeah.
But he was saying like, shoot, hey, that's the past, man. Arrow holding
And,
on to
and
that.
and he fell in love too. He got married,
Oh yeah, 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 exactly, yeah, that too. Hmm.
in a
Yeah,
short period of time. So he fell in
yeah,
love, and he was on top of the mountain. I mean, he might have just took some time away from the sport, man. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But I like how he promote fights. I think he's entertaining when he's on his shit. I mean, come on, man. We can't overlook when he was really wrecking the welterweight division. He was doing what he
Yeah,
doing.
right. Hmm.
I'm
So,
curious. Go ahead, bro.
uh, no, I was just gonna say, I think I'm gonna ask the same question to y'all that uh, Coach asked Rick, and say, who do y'all blame? Do y'all blame one side, or do y'all think it's kind of fair down the middle to blame both parties?
Yeah, I would say both parties, and really mainly the PBC. Now, Heyman.
I see a lot of the blame being specifically directed towards Al. I know originally, the Bud fans were taking it straight to Spence.
Yeah, but it ain't
But
Spence, but yeah.
yeah, but
Well,
when I
yeah.
get on there and I see what Rick was saying, and most of the the business people, Coppinger and all them, Dan
Uh,
Canabio and all that, whatever his name is, they kind of talking about it being Al and PBC. So I just want to see if y'all felt, as if fans of y'all own fighters, who y'all felt was to blame. I'm hearing all kind of shit. I'm hearing Bud shouldn't have
right.
been in negotiations trying to make other deals and sign other contracts while Arrow was sitting around only focused on one fight. And then I'm hearing,
But right, right,
PBC and Al.
yeah.
So
No,
See,
man,
they
what's
they they
crazy? That's not. Yeah, yeah. You go
they,
there, Scott. Go shit.
they can say what they want about him being involved in other fights, but they don't know when he was in communication with Plan B. And anybody in the corporate world tell you it's always a it's always a Plan B and C. Anybody in the
Exactly.
corporate world will tell you it's a
except
Plan B and C.
Yeah, that's all I
except
was just trying to say. Uh-huh.
Steven Espinosa, who came out last week and said
Yeah,
there
I
is
know.
no B, C, or D. And he said it today in the Twitter spaces again that, their main focus is plan A. And
Yeah, the
just,
main focus is Plan A, but come on, bro. I don't
They got,
believe entirely that he's being truthful. I
yeah,
just
yeah.
think he's just trying to play the role to keep people invested in bringing attention to the PBC and Errol Spence. Real talk,
Right.
like,
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
yeah, that's what you're
Yeah.
supposed to do. Like
Right.
he's trying to say, oh, the fight date for November is not entirely dead. But how the hell are you gonna get people to tune in to a fight of Spence and Crawford and be able to afford that shit?
Yeah, that's be too. Yeah.
You're gonna bring in the pay per view for that fight at around $80 something.
Right.
Seriously. And then it's gonna be in Vegas. People have to plan. They have to drop what they doing. No, that fight date was dead, man.
what y'all think about, because I also heard, Bud would have had, when you talk about the time frame,
Hmm.
they said Bud had to have been in talks for, quite a bit of time with the David thing because it takes a bit of time to get a venue.
I mean,
In his
yeah,
backyard. I don't know about that.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think so. I mean, like if y'all read the article and stuff, other than what Mike Carpenter said, he said that he told Arrow and them that he was going to fight at the end of this year. So that's a possibility. He had this probably
Yeah.
planned out. But from here from Blue Blood, this kind of happened, you know, briefly. Not like pretty much just happened, over time after
It,
him
it
and
happened in the streets of Newark.
exactly stuff like that,
So
which is
so
kind
if
of
you if you
surprised.
if you if you if you take it back to September, that's still not a lot of time, bro. Like him talking about it happened in Newark, that's still not a lot of time. if this conversation came up on the 22nd of September, that's nothing. I mean, so you trying to tell me that's enough time to lock in a venue in Omaha?
Man,
Yeah, he
no,
does.
absolutely not. I'm hearing it took up to 2 to 3 months to do that.
Correct. That's what I'm
You know what I'm
saying. So this
saying?
shit don't make sense to me. So if Bud indeed, say, okay, well, somebody told him, hey man, lock on that venue. We don't know who you're gonna fight in there. I don't know. I don't know how that can go that way because he had who's gonna fight Bud for the WBO? Like,
Right.
why would he lock on the venue in July, August, whatever? You know what I'm saying? If they did do that, if they indeed do that, it further proves that he's very business savvy when it comes down to this boxing shit. If he locked on the Omaha venue months ago, just in case this shit then it wasn't signed, sealed, delivered. I mean, it only
Yeah.
further proves that he takes this shit serious.
Yeah, which I think he did.
Or
That's it.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you up. Do you think
No, you good, bro.
this is
No.
you
Yeah,
think
you
it's a
good.
tone-up situation?
Ah, I don't. I mean, yeah, logically, yeah, but honestly, this dude isn't like tune up to me. I mean, he's 6-0, 6 KOs right now at the moment.
He's
But
what?
when I hear,
I said
go ahead.
his last 6 fights he won. He had like what 6 knockouts, 5 knockouts at the moment.
Who you talking about? Avanesian?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And they
I
had
think
pretty, due to the eye test, they had pretty decent records. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
yeah, and then he got a belt over there in Europe. He has the European belt, so he is, I guess
Yeah,
you could say, technically a champion. So
the
no, I wouldn't
EBU,
even consider this a
correct?
simple tune-up, bro. I would say this more
True.
of like, Crawford just want to fight someone that's gonna get him ready for Spence. So I mean, like I said, it is a tune-up, but really it's not, though. I mean, like it's a tough, opponent. So
Call it what you want. If it's indeed a nice, hefty paycheck, something he wasn't going to receive, fighting Spence, no doubt, do it. Take it.
yeah, which I think, yeah, he definitely wasn't getting this when the for
No,
the
he
I
ain't
don't
gonna. He
think
wasn't get that at PBC.
he
Hell
was
no.
lesser than this. I think for the
I mean,
Spence
we
and
really don't know how much is out there
yeah,
on the
we don't.
table. We don't know.
Yeah, that's true. But
Let's
shit.
just say it's higher than 10 million. God damn, that's crazy, man. That's a nice
Yeah.
bag.
Hmm.
I go in there and fight a dude like Avanesian with 3 defeats. I'm getting paid 8 figures. Hell
Yeah.
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 Hell yeah, no doubt.
Oh man, yeah. Real.
Who do you think Blunt's who fathers is?
You going?
Where do you place the blame at? And don't come up here acting like you freaking a
Uh,
politician doing, trying to get elected in a seat.
oh shit.
Oh, I'm
Hey,
not
if
a
I had
fan
to
of either
pick, man,
boxer.
I
I'm
would say,
neutral. I'm neutral.
yeah, no, I would say, I think I don't know how to feel, man, because Bud was in negotiations doing shit on the side, man, and Errol said, I don't know, but again, Errol ain't really came out and said much, and then you got Letitia and the nephew coming out.
Mhm.
We can't hear you, bro. We can't hear you.
Oh, my fault, I'm driving. Yeah. Look, I'm gonna just say, if I had to choose off the rip,
Well,
I would say I ain't feeling Bud doing shit.
We didn't hear you.
okay.
I'm driving though. My fault.
No, I got you. Yeah, he said
But
he's
I
not
think,
feeling what
Bluetooth?
Bud did.
yeah, and I'm on the Bluetooth. I switched on the Bluetooth too. But yeah, I think, man, I'm not feeling Bud looking at anybody else, man. I heard an example today that was like, if a woman tells you she gonna marry you, and then then what he say? And then she tells you, y'all go to the wedding or whatever, and then she tells you, I'm not gonna marry you, I'm gonna marry him. She was talking with him all along. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, but what you gotta understand, bro, is that not to cut you off, Errol Spence already has some lined up as well. And I think this is something that we not being notified because we're not in
Correct.
the inside, but Errol Spence, I think, already had a fight lined up too, and they just thought they could hold Crawford hostage and leave him like in the dust. And he Crawford pulled, I ain't gonna even say he pulled a spoon. I think he had this already in his back pocket, like, yo, all right, so they're gonna play this, like he said, so they're gonna try to stall this shit. I'm gonna pull this on them, you know,
Well,
you know.
Carpenter said today that Errol might be up to fight Stanionis because Stanionis took the step aside one time and he ain't gonna take it again. So
Yeah, you gonna have to, yeah.
I haven't heard no talks about Stanionis. They was talking about Moose might get him, but as far as that's concerned, I mean, I don't know if Errol had something else on the side of it. I don't know that. You know what I mean? But the way this shit looks is, well, you couldn't possibly have been fully focused in on Errol if you even entertaining the idea of doing something else. But I don't know, man. I don't like that. That's the only part I don't like. But again, if it pays him and he can feed his kids, do what he love to do, have fun, get his tune up, get ready, I don't knock him for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, damn, bro. I would have liked, if I'm going to be a fan or somebody who wants to know what's going on, I want to hear both sides come out and speak. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Tell us what's going on, man. Stop this bullshit back and forth on Twitter. Stop these lame-ass, fake-ass, lying-ass, about to get fired-ass reporters from talking all this whack-ass shit. You got all these YouTubers in an uproar. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop, man. Just come out and say what it is. Let us
But you
know.
gotta
Most of
understand,
us is grown.
yeah, man, Arrow ain't trying to do that. Honestly, Arrow kind of he's just saying stuff in code. He not finna say the whole truth or nothing like that. So you ain't gonna really get it from him. You know, you gotta take what they say and take it with a grain of salt. Like, okay, this is what they telling us, but it might be something else. Like, that's why I said, shoot, I think they honestly had some. Arrow probably like, shit. We gonna just give him this offer. And he don't accept it. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna fight again anyway soon. And like I said, they probably was like, shit, Crawford. Once he accept this or not, let's just add this extra curriculum or something that Crawford they knew was probably gonna agree with, which is obviously him not being able to see the books and shit. Then allegedly the net pay, but I guess now it's coming out he actually was getting a guarantee. So it's like I said, I feel like that's a lie too. We don't even know if he was getting a guarantee or he was getting net. Like, like who knows? You know. I just wish Crawford would come out though at least and say what was going on and what made him do this decision as far as like moving to Amnesia. But I feel like it was for very good reason. I don't think as a thing, or he pulled this off, and it's like, oh shit, why you do that? I think his shit was just something that he was reading the room and like, yeah, man, this ain't right. I'm not gonna get played, you know. So, and I think shit, like I say, that was the most logical thing. You getting paid more than what you allegedly, I'm saying, probably was getting paid for the arrow fight that they were trying to offer you. So why not take it? They can't give
Yeah.
you 10 million, but these people, these it's a black owned investment group. They got 10 million for you, but PBC, who's owned by a black dude, he can't give you 10 million. Come on now, logically, you're gonna go with the people who obviously got the money for you, and the other guy who holding acting like he ain't got no damn money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on now, like I
But
think he did
again,
the right thing.
Let me get this
Yeah,
off,
yeah.
bro.
right?
Let me talk. Let me get this off. So, what's the waiting period if Terrence Crawford
Uh,
is more long standing during the hiatus of his last fight up to this point? He's rolling up on a year. He definitely have to take that in consideration if he don't want to go the entire calendar without a fight. I think that's very intelligent for him to have a planned option, being that he fought November last year.
mhm.
It's smart. And I know every time I ask Blunts about, who did he go with, if it's my panel, he always gonna go with Errol Spence. He don't want to admit it, but he does, man.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
You,
I like Errol. I like Errol swag. I just wish we would get. Look, they've been
man,
saying this
own the
since Bud
shit,
for
then.
example.
Own the shit, dog.
No. I like him. I like him. I like him in the way he fight. You know what I'm saying? I
mhm.
like that shit too. But
Right,
I'm
right.
not enough to say I'm a fan. Y'all been around this shit way longer than me. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I haven't seen as much of Bud as I've seen Errol. Not only that, but we seen since the Jeff Horn fight and Jeff Horn post-fight press conference, their Jeff Horn team said we like to see Bud come out of his shell more. If he come out, engage with the people, talk to the media, he'd be a hell of a star. When I even found Blue Blood Channel, before all the controversy and the bullshit, he was talking about Bud didn't want to sign the gloves. He didn't really want to talk to the people or nothing like that. And now I feel like if Bud had just came out and told his people, his fans, what the deal was, it would work in his favor with this upcoming fight against David. You know what I'm saying? He got his own fans not wanting to support him. I heard some of his own fans say they was gonna stream his motherfucking fight. And it's like,
Man,
bro, if you come
they
out and
said
tell
that
them what
about
the deal is,
Wilder.
Yeah, they did that. They do that anyway, bro. So it don't even matter.
They said that across the board. They ain't gonna do this. They ain't gonna do that.
Right?
But
Yeah, come on, they do it anyway.
but we all know $40 ain't shit. We get a hose $40 all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we streaming them other fights because they $80. That's double the price. But this fight, $40 ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's nothing. So it's like, damn, you ruining the chance of even people kicking out that little ass $40. It's like, just come out, tell them what it is, and they're gonna be like, damn, man, Bud is addressing the people, man. He said this is what it is. You know what, man? I'm gonna drop my 40 on him, man, and show him love. Instead, he doing all this silent, quiet shit behind the scenes.
that's how he
Still
always
being
been,
silent. Exactly. That's how. That's what I just said. Since from what I heard of Jeff Horn, him always, being quiet behind the scenes. It's like, bro, you gotta fuck the game up.
Nah, not really, bro.
He
Eric
shouldn't
Spitz
be
do the same
excoriated
thing, man.
for it.
Yeah. Everybody don't. I mean, you got tell me one fighter who doesn't do what he does. Who
Canelo don't talk that much.
Exactly. Come on now. I'm about to say Canelo. A lot of fighters don't speak in public.
Lomachenko don't talk that much. I mean, why the brothers have to be outspoken all the time, man?
Yeah, then you gotta understand, bro. We don't know why he not speak. He probably, probably was a gag order or something. He probably couldn't speak about the negotiation that they're still working on. You know what I'm saying?
True.
You gotta understand why. Eric Spence really wasn't talking much about it. He just talking shit on Twitter, like, oh, I'm gonna do this to him, blah 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 blah. He didn't really say much about what was going on about the fight either, and he went on him. So you gotta take that into consideration too.
Yeah, the whole shit, man. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy. I told OG man. OG, you saw how many text messages I sent you, man. Shit, I didn't know what to think, man. I didn't know what to think. I'm like, I wanted you to see everything I was saying to help me understand, man, what is going on. So I don't know, man.
But you have to understand. I can see if you was asking what was going on with the fighters themselves, but it seems like your delirium was what you was hearing out of the mouths of people on YTC. That I told you, don't lean too far into it, man.
Hey,
what I'm
man,
saying? That
you
shit'll get you
definitely
stressed
did.
the fuck out, dog.
So stressed out to the point when look, I don't know if it was earlier today or yesterday, but I was like, listen, I put it on Twitter. I said, man, I'm done with this boxing shit. I'll see y'all on Monday, man. Like I need a 3-day break. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna pay no attention to this shit today, but I need a break, man, because I'm not understanding it. You got other, you got the YTC line and shit.
Yeah, but I don't pay attention to what's crazy, bro. Like, I only listen to people like this guy, Tom Biz, a few people who actually been around the business, who understand it somewhat, and that's it. I don't listen to everybody on the YouTube community, bro. That's what gets you all, like, misinformed and stuff, and having you think about stuff like, oh, did this happen? You don't believe in these narratives, and that's the problem.
True.
So, I learned a long time ago not even to, entertain these people on the YouTube streets too much, cause they all got an agenda anyway.
Yeah, the YouTube voices, man. It can be a play sometime. You have many different characters, and you have people that's willing to stay in those characters even though they don't want to be there. That happens a lot on this YTC shit, bro.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? That's where you get, people making lives on other people because you can't believe what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Blunt's frustration. You're slowly, acclimating to certain areas where you're gonna, find inclement weather, man. You're gonna find some shit that just irritates the fuck out of you. Did y'all dip?
Oh no, I'm still.
Oh, damn, y'all was on mute. Y'all just went quiet. Tony Boswell on deck. What's good with it, Tony? Shit, much
Yeah.
respect at World Combat Sports. Somebody got some music coming in the background. Much respect at World Combat Sports in the chat. Stop in to show support and hit the like button. Just got off
Oh, yeah.
work. Salute. Salute to you, Tony. Always, man. Support. You know what I'm saying? Always support for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I hope your day was great out there in the workforce, man. It's the weekend for everybody that's in the chat. Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button. Well, you know, it's gonna be what it is.
Right.
You know, but you know, while we on here, you know what I'm saying? Give me your take on Tyson Fury fighting Derek Chisora for a third time. Is that the trilogy that you was dreaming about?
Hell no. Nah. I think it's gonna be whatever, man. You know, I don't know. I'm not caring to see the fight, but I might still check it out. But obviously, Fury gonna win that one. Uh, but no, that's not something that I did check for. I don't think a lot of people here in America gonna check for too much.
Yeah, it's one of those situations I don't even understand why it's even happening. Like
Yeah, right.
the clear path, like
Hmm.
in basketball, the clear path to me was straight to Usyk, man,
Right.
straight to Usyk, and
And
then
what's
all of a
crazy, I didn't know
sudden,
he. Yeah. Not to cut you off, I didn't even know he fought this guy 3 times. I thought he fought him
yeah,
twice.
yeah, he went to a decision the first time, and then they had a 10th round RTD. He didn't come out the corner. Him being Derek Chisora. And now he's
Yeah.
saying he's fighting him a third time to bring some spark back to the UK boxing. Shit, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what it do. Let's see if it does.
Tony said, I thought Virgil petitioned for the mandatory status in force against Anthony. Pretty sure he did, if I'm not mistaken. I think Virgil versus Spence Jr. happens for a Texas showdown because Stanthionis is next.
Hmm. Yeah. I remember.
I like that fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like that fight. Even with Stanthionis, man.
Uh-huh.
He's a strong fighter too, man. He's a strong fighter for real.
What fight you think El should take though? What do you think should be his next fight between the Virgil, Stanionis, and Ennis?
I wouldn't be mad if he fought Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman
Yeah, me
was the
either.
former unified champion.
Yeah, same here.
You know
I
what I'm
definitely
saying?
wouldn't be mad. No.
Huh?
No, I just like I said the same thing. I wouldn't be mad either if he fought Keith. I mean,
I wouldn't be mad if he fought Keith. Virgil, you know what I'm saying? Virgil has somewhat the same come forward style, man, as Spence. That'll be a tough fight for Virgil. Seriously. That'll be a
uh-huh.
tough fight for him. And then I don't know, man. I'll stick with Keith Thurman. I'd like to
Okay.
see him fight Keith Thurman. That's a true welterweight, and he was now former unified. So yeah, man, let him get a shot at the unified champion, man.
Hmm. Yeah, it's funny though. I remember he said he would never fight Keith.
Yeah, I just feel like if he was to take that type of attitude, that's just petty, man. Once again,
Yeah.
you have some black fighters being petty against another black fighter because of whatever happened in the past. Like we got Demetrius Andrade and freaking the Charlos mad about that shit still.
Right. Yeah, it's like, uh, yeah. But nah, man, like I'm gonna be tuning in next week for that slow mo fight.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, hey, that might that might, topple the apple cart. You know what I'm saying? If he loses to Ortiz, then we might see a quicker, Haney Stevenson. Never know.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Uh-huh.
Joshua's gonna be set to step in there too, but
Mm. Yeah.
I guess the negotiation with him facing Fury, they said, hell no, we just gonna put Chisora in there. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So what else been going on around this motherfucker, man?
Oh, the huge man, none man. It's been Uh, pretty much chilling outside of YouTube stuff.
I saw you was I was trying to tell you like were you using Premiere because it's just a one time. It's just a one time deal. You purchase, you good forever,
Oh
and you
yeah,
get
yeah, with the
you get basic, the middle of whatever, and then you get expert mode. Then Adobe Pro, of course, is much more complex. You know what I'm saying? But Premiere, you can get a lot of shit done with that.
yeah. I can see. Yeah, I believe I have. Yeah, I have the. Let's see. Yeah, it's Adobe Premiere, but let me see exactly. Yeah, it's called Creative Cloud.
Yeah, you in
Adobe
Creative
Creative.
Cloud, like you go to if you
Nah,
purchase
stop this.
Adobe Premiere, it'll give you the basic starting where it shows you how to go and complete certain areas of Photoshop and all that, and then it has the middle where
Hmm.
you have certain tools that they still assist you, and then expert where they have everything that you want, and you should pretty much be able to self guide through a Photoshop, through a picture or whatever the case. Plus, it
Right.
comes with Photoshop and videography. They
Yeah,
have two
see, I got
different
it.
apps for that.
Right. Yeah, see, I think I paid for the Adobe Express, where it has Premiere Rush, Photoshop Express, Spark Video. Yeah, yeah, I got this one, I believe. Yeah.
What the?
Yes, I think I got the one you talk about. I just it say Premiere Rush, Photo Express. Yeah, yeah, I got the one you talk because say 9.99. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up, man. I'm about to bounce up out of here, man. Appreciate you pulling up, though, Bilal.
Oh no, yeah, for sure, man.
I'll see you in the streets. I'm pretty sure later on today.
Right, right. All right, man. Stay safe, man. It's always good talking to you, man. For real,
Yeah,
man. You a good
convenient.
brother.
Yeah, for sure. You too, man. Continue to work on your stuff, though, man. I'll
I
check it
will, for
out.
sure. All right,
All
yeah.
right,
Thanks, man.
for real. All right,
Yeah, love, man.
all right. I'm out.
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate everyone. As always, thank you for pulling up. You know what I'm saying? It's been about a cool 3+ hours on this. You know what I'm saying? Went by quick. So hopefully, people got educated on certain things. We'll see in the upcoming weeks on what's really popping out here. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what materialize. Um, Shout out to Shaw News, man. Continue to do your thing, man. Out here covering these fights. You know what I'm saying? Team Jahad Tucker. I know y'all in preparation for whenever his next fight is. You know what I'm saying? Stay zoned in. Hey, shout out to Ron, man. Ron over there taking the damn killer steals over there. You know what I'm saying? He over there taking the killer steals and all that. Shout out to Coach Tucker. Continue to do your thing, man. Team Crawford, good move. Continue to stay in front of the game, man. Real talk. Continue to stay ahead of the game and do what's beneficial for you and your family. Until next time, man, y'all turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports, man. I'm out.